Alright, welcome back everybody. My name is Darrel, and today I'm going to show you all how to make this amazing and beautiful WordPress website step by step using the Divi theme. And for those of you who are brand new to WordPress and you really want to learn how to make a website, this is the tutorial for you. Now let me give you all a quick tour of this website and kind of show you today what we're going to be building today. And right off the back, you guys have noticed these colors are vibrant. They're beautiful. It really gets your attention, right? So this is the website we're going to be making today. And as you guys have noticed right here, we've kept these colors a little consistent. It's a really clean website, really professional, and it's a very modern style website. You guys have seen my past tutorials. You guys know that I focus more on design. Design is everything, guys. People truly buy images and content and position rather than your actual products and services, right? It's really true. So let me give you guys a quick example of how this page builder works in case you have never used the Divi theme. So this is the current website, and let's just say you're brand new and you want to go ahead and say, you know, I want to take this image and put it over here, and then take this image and put it over here. Maybe right here you want to go ahead and change the text to something like study paper, right? It's that easy to make changes to your website. And right here, for example, I'll go ahead and say, you know, I want more space here. So I can just drag that down, and then right here, you know, maybe I can, you know, just put that down a little bit, and there you go. So this is how you make changes with the Divi theme. It is super easy. Anybody can do it. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to master the Divi theme and also master WordPress itself. So let me give you all a quick example of the other pages. So this was the home page, but in this tutorial, I've stepped up a notch. You know, I realized, you know, YouTube is competitive and I really want to provide the best. So I'm going to do the home, the about, the services, the portfolio, and the contact page. So let me show you all the About Us page. And if you guys have noticed, I've kept the colors and the scheme very similar. It looks really professional, really clean, because I want you guys to walk away with a very good looking and professional website. Okay? So this was the About Us page. It looks pretty good. Now let's check out the services page. So this is our services page, and it's just a very modern design. You guys can see by yourself. I don't really need to say any more. You guys can just kind of look at it and say, this does look pretty good. And it's so easy to make these websites with the Divi theme. That's why it's the #1 rated theme on the market. It's so easy. So this is the services page, and then here we're going to do our portfolio section. And right here, people can, you know, check out your work. They can go ahead and click on it. And then if there's something here, they can say, hey, okay, cool, look, you know, all these pictures and all this stuff right here. They can go ahead and, you know, look at this stuff. And then also you can talk about your project. Now this can be anything. It can be a blog. It can be I mean, it's limitless, guys. You can virtually think of anything to put there. So that was the portfolio section. Now let me show you all the contact page. So this is the last section. It's a contact page, but it's a very simple contact page. We have a full width menu right here. You can go ahead and put in your address. Right here, we have some text right here. Feel free to say, you know, don't be shy, etc. The contact form is there, and we've kept the colors. It looks really clean, really professional. And this right here is a universal footer. So instead of actually redesigning the footer and doing it all over again, with this theme, we can save it and just load it on different parts of the website, guys. So you're gonna save tons of time using this theme. And I'm gonna show you how to master the pre-made layout and also how to upload your own. It's very simple. So going back over here, we're gonna go to our home page again. And I wanna show you guys just the basic website and just kind of just scroll down and give you an example of how this looks as a new visitor. Looks really clean, really professional. It's super mobile responsive, SEO friendly. And here is the footer again. So guys, this isn't a standard footer. Now we've actually taken a step further and kind of created our own footer with the Divi theme. And I'll teach you all about this stuff in this tutorial. I'm actually one of the highest rated instructors on Udemy, and I'm known for teaching Divi because I feel that it's just a amazing WordPress theme, and everybody out there should learn how to use it because it is so easy. Okay, so if you guys have liked what you've seen so far, go ahead and give me a like and a subscribe. And now let's go ahead and start to create this amazing WordPress website step by step. All right, so I'm gonna get out my notepad and we are going to follow these simple steps in order. So first, we are going to get our domain and hosting, and you will also receive a free domain and the largest discount available TMD Hosting has to offer. Next, we're going to install WordPress, then we are going to get the Divi theme, and then we are going to create this amazing WordPress website, the best on YouTube. That's a self-brag, but you know, that's just what I think. I don't know. But so go ahead and click on the link in the description, guys. It will take you to tmdhosting.com. And it should take you to a page that looks just like this right here. All right. So once you're here, go ahead and click on Get Started. And TMD Hosting provides SSD hosting, which is currently the fastest hosting available. They also give you a free domain and a 60-day money-back guarantee in case you change your mind, okay? So they are a very reputable and trusted company. So here we have 3 options. And guys, just do business. I'm just gonna tell you to do business because with the business plan, you get unlimited domains rather than just a single domain. So it is a very, very large difference for a very small price. So right here, I'm gonna click on Sign Up. And go ahead and put in your domain. I'm going to put in my infamous one I always put in here. I love Kylo Ren. You know, I think he's going to be a good guy. I think Kylo Ren is going to like turn into a good guy later in the series. I don't know. That's just what I think. All right, cool. It's available. So right here, go ahead and put in your information. Go ahead and put in your first name, your last name, your social security. I'm just kidding. Not your social. They don't ask for your social. But everything else right here, go ahead and put that in. And, you know, right here, you can pay with credit card. Or if you have a PayPal account, you can pay with PayPal. I pay with PayPal a lot. And right here, we have the data center. So they actually choose the center closest to you automatically. And we have a period right here. So we have 1 month or 12 months. And then right here, we have the domain privacy protection. So what that is that actually hides your personal information if somebody tries to, who is you, if they try to search you. Now, I have a coupon code that will save you a large amount compared to 1 month. So the coupon code I have is actually 7% off your entire plan rather than 5%. They've actually upgraded it. So right here, if you do 12 months, you're gonna save more money. So let's just say you don't want this and we enter the code Darrel626. I live in the 626 area code. That's kind of where I got it from. So right here, I'm gonna click on apply. You're gonna see the price drop from $82 to around $76. And this will give you 7% off your entire purchase. So if you just do 1 month, you're not gonna save much, but for a year of hosting and a domain, that is probably the most competitive price you will find on the market. So go ahead and fill out all this information. And once you're done, click on I have, agreed. I'm sure you're gonna read the terms of service. And then right here, go ahead and click on check out, okay? And I will actually meet you on the portal because I have an account with these guys. All right, so I'm gonna go over here. I'm going to log into my account. Let's see, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and log in. Now here, that's like a beta thing. They're trying to do some new portal beta thing. I think a lot of companies are starting to follow the same exact style. I know HostGator has. So this is your basic, your dashboard. So once you've done all your information, it will bring you to this page. Now I should probably pay this invoice because they've been nagging me. So once you're here, you're gonna go ahead and scroll down and you're gonna go down to your cPanel. And right here, you're gonna click on this, which was your account that you made, and just simply click on login. All right, and this is the cPanel. And they've actually changed a little bit. They've made it very modern, very hip, very friendly, very easy to use. Before, it was not the best. Now it's a little bit more user-friendly. So all we need to do is go ahead and scroll down, and we're going to use the app installer. So scrolling down here, we're going to go to WordPress. And WordPress powers 1/3 of the internet as of right now. So it is a super popular platform that everybody uses. So I'm gonna click on WordPress. Alrighty, and then go ahead and just click on install now. Okay, so right here is your protocol. That should be standard. Right here, you're going to go ahead and select the domain that you purchased. Now, if you only have one, then only one will appear. Right here under the directory, make sure nothing is there. Okay, make sure nothing is there, okay? Right here, your site name. You can give your site a name, but remember, you can always change this later in the settings, so it's not that big of a deal. Right here, you're gonna put your username, so whatever you want your username to be, and right here, you're gonna put your password, and here, you're gonna put your email, okay? And also, if you choose a different language, these guys, they got you. They can translate it for all these different languages, and I still think that it's Mandarin, not Chinese. I don't know. If someone out there has a disagreement, you can let me know in the comments, but I was assuming that Mandarin is Chinese, but I don't know. They don't have Mandarin, it's just Chinese. So anyways, yeah, go ahead and put your language. And just keep scrolling down. And once you're done, all you got to do is click on this install button. All right, so now WordPress is installing onto your domain. And this is what you're going to use to install the Divi theme and all sorts of goodies. It's super easy. Now they say 5 minutes, but it's like a minute. Like that's it. That was really fast, right? Really super fast. Okay. So WordPress has installed successfully. Everything's good to go. Now, if you want to go ahead and log in, all you need to do is click on this administrative URL button, and it will take you to your WordPress dashboard. There you go. Voila, done. That was fast. So we got hosting, we got a domain, we've installed WordPress, etc. So right here, done. Simple, easy. Install WordPress, done. That's it. Now we are going to get the Divi theme. But really quickly before we leave this, I want to go ahead and introduce you to a few options in case you want to change your password or if you want to make some changes. So right here under appearance, we're going to go down to, users, click on all users. And right here is admin. So go ahead and click on admin. And this is just some basic settings, guys. Like if you want to change the color, you know, I know like some chicks like it like, you know, red or bright colors. The guys might want it a little bit darker. And this is more like a Barney color. It's a bizarre color. So right here is if you ever want to change your email, this is where you're going to put it in. Okay. If you want to change your picture, you're going to go to Gravatar and put in a picture. If you want to change your password, you click on generate password and go ahead and put in a password right there. Okay. And then you would click on update profile. So these are some settings that you need to, mess with before you venture off onto WordPress. And one more thing I want to change is the permalinks. Okay. So right here under settings, we're going to go down to permalinks. Now I'll explain why we change this. People ask me in the comments, why do we change this? You know, when you go to Amazon or something, it says like amazon.com-shop or amazon.com-about us, right? So that is the post name. This is good for SEO. It helps your site rank better. Now, if you have something like this right here, like 1, 2, 3, 4 dot, that is not practical. No, that's not going to happen. So make sure it is under post name. Okay. And then once you're done, click on Save Changes. All right, and right here, if you want to take a look at your website, you can go to your blog right here, this section, and just click on Visit Site. And this is it. This is your actual site right now. It's using a different theme called 27, but it doesn't look too good. Not to worry, guys. We are going to make it look amazing, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is purchase the Divi theme. So there is a link in the description to Elegant Themes, and that link will actually give you a small discount. As of right now, they do currently have a sale going on where you will receive 10% off the developer. So there's 3 plans, guys, but I always recommend at least the developer because the developer actually gives you access to the Bloom plugin, which I do have a tutorial on. It's like an email capture. It can capture anything, and it's just really, really modern and professional looking. And also the lifetime access. Now, guys, I have the lifetime access. I use the Divi theme. I would never recommend a product I didn't use. I know there's like affiliates out there on like those blogs, and they're kind of like, yeah, buy this, buy that, buy this, and they don't even use it. You know, my website, if you go to darrelwilson.com, this is an example of what you can make with the Divi theme. So this is from Divi. So I personally use it on my website because it's just super easy, super amazing, and I love it. So this is an example of what you can make with Divi. So going back over here, go ahead and create a username, a password, confirm your password, put in your email address, put in your first name, your last name, your social. I'm just kidding again, no social, your country, etc. And click on next step. And then the next step is going to ask you for money. So just pay them money. It's business, it's how it goes. And once you've done that, I will actually meet you on the account page because I have an account with these guys. Like I said, I'm not those people who are like, yeah, buy this, buy that, and they don't even have it. It's like, no, I use it. I have a lifetime plan with these guys. So that means, guys, you will always get access to support. So whenever you need help with your website, whenever there's problems with your website, these guys will help you in their support forum. So you can actually buy with confidence knowing that these guys have your back. You know, you're not on your own. Let's just say this tutorial sucks and you don't like it. At least you got these guys, right, to kind of help you out. And also you actually receive other themes. You receive a lot of their other plugins with this purchase, guys. So keep that in mind. It's they're an amazing company. They are the #1 rated WordPress company on the market. Okay. So once you're here, go ahead and click on Divi right here. Click on download and click on theme package. All right, so right here it says Divi and it is installing, okay? So let me go check my support. What's going on over here? I don't know. Oh, so look, guys, if you ever need help, right here, you're gonna scroll down to Divi and let's see right here. Did I pass it? I think I passed it. Yeah, Divi right here. and there are an overwhelmingly amount of people getting support right here. Okay, so like I said, you can always buy with confidence. You know, you're not on your own. These guys will help you out with your websites. Totally cool they do that. Okay, so once you've actually downloaded that file, we're gonna go over here now, and we're going to install this on our WordPress website. So you're gonna go to Appearance and go to Themes, and this is where we are going to install Divi. Now there are a lot of themes. In fact, there are thousands of themes on the market, guys. People make themes all the time. I've just found that Divi is just the best one. So right here, you click on Upload Theme, and then right here, click on Choose the File, and then all you need to do is go ahead and simply download the file, install the file that you downloaded. So mine was Divi 3. I'm gonna click on Open, and then once you've done that, you're gonna click on Install Now. Now my theme is installing, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this. And also, guys, about the website, we are going to make this same exact website. I felt that this was a really cool website. I will provide you all with the images. I will provide you all with everything that you need to get this started, because I know it's very difficult to start a website by your own. Trust me, I was in web design for a few years, and it's really hard. I mean, it looks easy, but it's hard to think of stuff to kind of, get your mind going. There's a lot of directions you can go. There's a lot of things you think of. Maybe somebody wants like a construction website. You're kind of like, where should I even start? We will talk all about that with the pre-made layouts. And my website has tons of free layouts for you. So even after this tutorial, guys, you guys can go to my website and just simply download a free theme, slap it on your site, good to go. It's really simple, okay? So going back over here, this is actually installing. And guys, it takes time to install. So if it does take time, guys, just be patient and just let it, load, let it install. Don't refresh anything. Don't do anything crazy, because then it's going to give you errors and you're going to be leaving comments. Yeah. So right here, you're going to click on activate. Guys, I really don't mind your comments, I swear. All right. So I activated it. All right. So that's it. We have successfully installed Divi. Congratulations, guys. We have made it a very long way. We have actually done all the hard stuff. I mean, that was all the technical jargon. Now we're going to actually do the fun stuff. So right here, got Divi theme. Done. Congratulations. Now we're going to learn how to make this same exact website step by step. So if you want to look at the website now, you can go over here and go to visit site. And there it is. The site is not looking good. That is not what we want. But don't worry, we are going to make it look amazing, okay? So let's go ahead and close all these other tabs. We don't need any of these tabs open. I'm gonna go ahead and close all these tabs we got right here. And now let's go ahead and create some pages. So over here, you can go through plus new and go to page. And let's just go ahead and create our pages. We're gonna create the home, the about, the services, the portfolio, and the contact section. So right here, add a new page, simply go to home. And right here, you can click on publish. All right, and then again, add new. Now we're going to make our services page. Click on publish. And right here, we're gonna do about us. And then add new again. It's pretty fast. I mean, that makes the page really fast. Right here, go ahead and put portfolio. And right here, click on publish. And then up here, once again, we're gonna add the contact section. So contact us. And click on publish. Okay. And once you've done that, let's go ahead and make a menu. So we're gonna go down to appearance and go down to menus. So now we're going to create a menu for our website. So over here, just give it a name, maybe like menu 1 or something like that. I always name a menu 1 in all my tutorials, and simply go to create a menu. So now we're gonna create a menu for our pages. So right here under pages, you can see view all. So we're gonna do the about us, the contact. We wanna do the home page that we actually created just now, the portfolio and the services, and then simply click on add to menu. All right. And then you can simply drag these to where you want them to be. So maybe the contact us at the end, the portfolio right here, the services. Yeah, that looks good. And then go ahead and make this a primary menu right here and click on save menu. And now let's go ahead and take a look at our website. All right, so now we have the home. the About Us, the Services, the Portfolio, and the Contact Us. Now there's a lot of changes that we can do to the menu, but let's just go ahead and dive into the home page, and let's just go ahead now and just start using the visual editor. So go ahead and click on the home page, and then you'll see Enable Visual Builder at the top. Now if you do not see this, it's probably because you have the other home page, which is a custom link. So you need to make sure that when you create the page that you are selecting the right page for it, okay? Now one more thing I'm going to do before I start this tutorial, I'm going to reduce the resolution on my monitor. Okay, so I basically made it easier for you guys to see it. I kind of zoomed in a little bit because I want you guys to see everything close up and clearly. So I do have images for you guys. There is a link for the Dropbox where I have stored all the images for you guys as well. But before we do that, if you go up here to our domain, you notice that it has -home. Now we want to basically just have it as our regular name. So we want to go ahead and change this. We're going to go over here and go to Dashboard. And right here, we're going to click on Customize Your Site. And this is the theme customizer. This is where you can change the menu. You can change a lot of options. But I will talk a little bit more about all these sections a little bit later in the tutorial. But for now, we just need to go to Static Front Page. Click on a static front page. And we want to select the home page, which is the front page, as home. Bloop, just like that. And then click on Save and Publish. And then right here, you can click on X now. We don't really need that. So now if we go back to our website, you're going to see that it just says our website.net, whatever your domain is, instead of -home, okay? So now I want you guys to go to my Dropbox. There is a link in the description. It will take you to my Dropbox where you can download all those images for your website, all right? Now, just again, guys, they are just for tutorial purposes. You don't have to use them. You can use them just to follow along in this tutorial. I find out that it's very helpful. If you do want to go check out other websites for images, I recommend going to unsplash.com. And this website has free images where you can download. They are just gorgeous, like 4 to 8K images. They are really, really good. And most people recommend them because they're free and they're just amazing looking images. And they're just a bunch of photographers who kind of just upload them. And let's say, for example, you're looking for something like night sky or something. Night sky. They just have amazing and beautiful shots for landing pages, for sections, whatever you're trying to accomplish, these guys have it, okay? So unsplash.com, I will also put this in the description if you decide to use this website. All right, so now let's go ahead and do the fun stuff. Let's go ahead and create our website. Right here, we're going to enable the visual builder. And this is basically what we use to design the website with. This is the front editor, okay? So right here, we have this section right here. Now, all we want to do is go ahead and add a section. So we have this box right here. We have this blue box and we have this teal box right here. So I'm just going to give you a little overview. The blue box basically controls this whole section right here. The green box right here sort of controls what's in it. Do you see that? So that's the difference between both of them. But we actually want to trash this, and we are going to click on this plus section, and we're going to add a full width section. All right, and we are going to add the full width slider right here. And then right here, just go ahead and click on add a new item. We're just going to go ahead and add a new slider, and just go ahead and give it a name. I'm going to put Divi theme. All right, and this is our slider right here, and it's not up here. Don't worry about it. We will change that in a second. So right here is the button text. So what do you want the button to say? So maybe like learn more. And then whatever URL you want them to go, this is where you're going to take them, okay? Now, a background image. So I actually have all the images ready, so I'm going to upload all the images up at once. So right here, I'm gonna click on upload, and I'm gonna go to select files. Now this might take some time, guys, because I'm just gonna go ahead and download all of them at once. So I have a ton of images right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and select all these right here and simply just use all of them. Hey guys, another little pop-up tutorial. During this tutorial, you're gonna see some images. Now these images right here, I got from freepik.com. So in the tutorial, you might see me use different images, and those images are from like websites I paid for. So these are some free images that you guys can use. Also, check out freepik.com, and they have some really nice pictures that you guys can use. So I mean, just type in like mockup. And right here, I've added this one in. You can add in something like looks like this, or these business cards. They have some really nice pictures that you guys can use. So For the rest of the tutorial, you're going to see me use different images, but just make sure to, use the free ones right here, or use the ones that I have in the folder for you guys if you guys need help. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say, and let's go ahead and go back to the tutorial. So I clicked on open, and I'm just going to go ahead and pause the video while these upload. There are several ones, and I would advise you do the same exact thing. It is actually going really fast. I mean, this is why I recommend SSD hosting, because this is just like stupid fast. This is too fast. Wow, I don't have to pause the video. Never mind. With the other server company, I had to pause it, but not with these guys. Okay. So it's almost done, and it is done. That is ridiculously fast. Okay. So once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and uncheck these. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and close this box and just redo it again, because I have all of them checked. Okay. So I want this to be my landing page. I love this look. I made it. It looks great. So I'm gonna click on upload an image. Voila, there you go. We have this, but I want it up here. I'm gonna click on check right here and click on check. Now I want it up here. I don't want it down here. So this blue section, I wanna go ahead and say, you know what? You gotta get out of here. We're gonna delete you, okay? So now we have this section right here. It looks really good, really professional, and it just looks good. All right, so let's just say you want to center it. Let's just say you want to, put it up there. But, it actually leaves this little white area, as you guys can tell. So later on in the tutorial, guys, I'm going to give you something that will actually stretch it out automatically. It is some custom CSS, but we will talk about that a little bit later, okay? So let's just go ahead and go back to the actual picture and the settings and talk more about it. So click on that gear icon. Click on this gear icon right here. So I put Divi theme, and right here I put learn more. And I included a button URL. Here you can put something else. You can put an image. You can change the background image position and also the background image size as well if you want to go ahead and change that. But I think default is probably standard. Instead of having the image, you can add a background color to that. Here you can have a slide image. So this will actually add in another image right next to the slide image right here. You can add in a background overlay. So if you want a certain color, see how it's darker now? You can add in a background overlay of whatever color you choose. So in order to reduce the transparency, simply just drag it down like that. So now we've added this like kind of green tint to it, which looks pretty cool. But that's ugly. I'm not going to do that. And I'm not even going to add an overlay. I think that looks beautiful like that. And let's just say you want to change the text color. Now this is just like a quick way to do it. So now we have it dark, but we're going to change that in the advanced settings. Now, if you want those beautiful video backgrounds, you can do that with Divi. So right here under the background video, MP4, you're simply just going to click on upload and then simply select a video. Now, if you need help with videos, I do have a link in the description to vidivo.net, and they have some free video backgrounds that you can use. All right. And scrolling down here, let's just say you want to add in some text right here. So I'm going to go to my secret website. This is the secret website. Dummy text. And I'm just going to grab some dummy text, guys, because I don't know what to put. I really don't. So this website will just give me dummy text where I can just go ahead and put. And it looks like it's going pretty slow, but now we got it. So I'm going to simply take this and just go ahead and paste it in there. All right. So once I have that in there, I've added the dummy text and it looks pretty cool. So I'm going to click on the checkbox. And now you see that the dummy text appears right there, okay? So we have a full slider. We have text right here. We have a title. But let's just say you want to change the font and the color, right? I mean, it doesn't look that good. So over here under the design, the checkbox right here, click on design. Here you can change all sorts of settings. You can change the custom arrow colors. You can change the dot navigations. You can change all sorts of really cool options, okay? But for this section right here is the header font. So what header font do we want to use? And guys, I recommend keeping the same header font for a majority of your websites because, it kind of corresponds to your website, but I want to leave it as default. And here you can change it to something like Arvo. Now you can see the text change, something like that. We can change it to Bree Serif. I think Roboto is a really good one. Roboto is a pretty good font. Here you can decide if you want to underline, you can have it italicized, bold, whatever you would like. Now the header font size, how big do you want it? Whoop, we can have it 80. Now also, the Divi theme allows you to specifically change things how they look on the mobile device. So let's say you want to change it how it looks on mobile. You would simply click on this phone, go to smartphone, Now this is how it looks on the mobile, and obviously this might be too big. So we want to go ahead and reduce this just for the phone. So now this is how it's going to look on the phone, and this is how it's going to look on the desktop. So it is fully mobile responsive, guys. You can make any sort of change you want. Now also the tablet, they have not forgot about the tablet. Now this actually looks pretty good for the tablet, so I might want to go ahead and just leave it like this right here for the tablet. So the header text color, we can go ahead and change the header text color to something whatever you would like. I think white looks good. The letter spacing. So what this does is that you see how it stretches out the spacing right there. You can have that. You know, I think those like photography websites have those really stretched out type style looks. You know, but you can go ahead and go through that and change the letter spacing. The letter line height will basically say, okay, like how much height do you want from this section to this section? It's increasing the line height right there. Okay, but I'll just go ahead and leave this as standard. And the body font. So we're changing the section for this right now. But now let's say you want to change the body font. So which is this section right here. Maybe you want to go ahead and increase it. Maybe you want to go ahead and say, I want the bitter font. We can add the bitter font to that. And scrolling down here, same exact option, guys. The body letter spacing, which is this section, we can go ahead and, you know, stretch it out. We can make it smaller. Also the body line height. So the height between the lines, do you want to make that bigger? Do you want to make it smaller? So right here, you can see that the more I go, it gets bigger and then it gets smaller. So it's all about creativity, guys. It truly is. But I'll just go ahead and leave that as regular. Scrolling down right here. Now I want to talk about the button. So this button we can change to make it look like anything. All right. Now my other tutorial you guys have seen, I made it have a red background. So I'm going to go to use custom styles for button. Now the button text size. So how big do you want this text? See how big it is now? It's huge. So we can make it as big as we want it. I like the default style. The button text color. Maybe you want to have it as something like black. So now we have it as black. And you can also reduce the transparency of the black. You can make it different colors. You can do whatever you would want. There is no limitations with Divi. So here is the button background color. Maybe you want it to have something like, you know, red. Just like that. Now, on my website, it was only when you hovered over it, it would turn red. And don't worry, I'm going to show you that option just now, or just next. So let's say you want it as white, or you want it whatever color, you can do that right here, okay? And the border width, this will actually kind of, you know, make it have a big border, but I think it looks a little silly like that, so I'm not going to mess with that. Now, the button font, same thing, guys. You can change the font for the button, okay? Adding a button color or icon, you can say yes and simply just grab in a button right there. So if they scroll over it, now you see the button appears right there. All right. So you can choose a button if you would like. I think I used the Facebook like box thing. I think I used this one right here. Yeah, like this. Boop. See, now there's a like thing right there. So that looks pretty cool. And the button icon color, you can change the icon color of the actual button itself. So now I choose red, and now the icon is red. All right. So scrolling down here, we have the hover text color. So what this is saying is when somebody hovers over it, what do you want it to do? You know, what command you want it to do? So let's say, for example, I want the text to be purple. I scroll over it. Now it is purple only when I hover over it. See that? Now right here is the background color. So I had red earlier. And right here, I'm going to go ahead and put maybe black. So now if I hover over it, it's going to have a red background with black text. See that? Red background with black text. See? Pretty simple. Okay. And also we have the border radius right here. So we can change this, you know, to make it look however you want to have the button hover radius. So if I hover over it, it's going to have that circular style. See how the button's circular now? Circular, circular. Okay. Only when I hover over it though. Okay. And you can do the same thing for the hover letter spacing. So for example, I'm going to put something really big. Now if I hover over it, the letters are going to be really spaced out. Okay. So it's all about creativity, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and just, you know, leave that back. And I'm going to go ahead and add in a second slide. So I added one slide. Now let's say you want to add in a second slide. So I'm going to go to add a new item. And then I'll put Creative Studio. Right here, I'll put something like learn more. Or imagine, something inspirational. And right here, I'll add in a background image. So I'll put the bird, upload the image, and same options, guys. I can actually decide to, put whatever I would want right here. So the same exact option, guys, we can go ahead and go through that, change whatever you would like. You can add in a background overlay. You can do, the same exact settings, guys. And don't worry, I will show you how to make this full width a little bit later, okay? I know people are probably like, oh, I want to make that full width beautiful picture. Don't worry about it. I will show you how to do that. Don't worry. So I'm going to click on this check. And that's basically it, guys. Now we can actually have like controls, like for the automation animation, how many seconds do you want it to basically transition? They have basically a 7-second transition, but you can have it like, 3 seconds, see how it's much faster there. So it basically counts to 3 seconds and then it just, transfers, etc. Okay. So going back over here, we can choose to use the parallax effect, which basically has that illusion that, the object is not moving, but that's up to you. The parallax effect is a very cool parallax effect, but as of right now, I'm not going to add it in just yet. I want to basically create more page to give you a better example of the parallax effect, because it is a beautiful effect. Okay. And the background image position, generally, you might want to leave that same if you have a full width image. You wouldn't need to basically adjust it to something like the top right or the top or bottom left, etc. It just basically moves the image around, but default is pretty standard. Like I said, there are some cases where you would want to change that. Now, what this says disable on. So you ever been to like Wix.com or something where you go to their website on your phone and it looks different than what it does on their website? So if I go to disable on phone, this section will not appear on the phone. We can make a different section just for the phone, okay? So if you choose to do that option, you might want to make like another part, but this is a little bit more advanced. You might want to leave it for the phone. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that checked, and then I'm gonna click on check. So that's it, guys, for this section right here. We just basically created our landing page. It's very simple, yet it looks really, really good. So let's go ahead and continue making stuff. So right here under this plus sign, so we clicked on this, and now we want to go ahead and click on regular. All right, and right here, we're just gonna add in one single row because we're gonna add in a little section to introduce the next section. So right here, just go ahead and put a call to action. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and put who we are. Now, I'm not gonna put in a button URL or a button text, but if you wanna add like a little button right here, you can go ahead and put in the URL right here. So for example, www.whatever your website.com, and then right here, you can put like learn more. So if they click on that, they'll be taken to whatever URL that you put right there. But I'm actually not going to do this, and I'll explain a little bit why I'm going to do that, or why I'm not going to do that. So right here, I'm going to do, I don't want a background color. And for the text color, I want it as dark. Now for the orientation, I want it in the center, but you can put it to the left, you can put it to the right. But right now, I want to go ahead and leave it as center. And right here, you can add in some content. So I'm going to put in like a little space right here and just go ahead and throw in some content right there. And once you're done, now also guys, if you want to make some additional settings to this, the same thing, guys. Now these settings are almost universal. So for every module, you're basically going to have the same options. So for the header font, you can change the header font. So now you see how it says who we are. So you can go ahead through that and, put whatever you would like. So, I don't want to go through the options all the time, guys. So they are a little repetitive, but, they're necessary. So like I said, if you want to change this content right here, you're going to scroll down to the body font, and the body font corresponds to this section. Okay. So like I said, it's very repetitive. These options are all basically the same. Okay. So once I'm done with that, I'm gonna click on this little check. Now, the reason why I did call to action rather than just a text module is because, first off, it creates the header for us and it creates a small text. If we use the text module, we'd have to make 2 of them. Also, the header module is mobile responsive. The text modules by themselves are not until you make them mobile responsive. So that's a little quick shortcut. So the next thing is I want to add in some images. I want to add in the 3 images below that. So right here, I'm going to click on this little plus section. And I want 3 images. So right here, I'm gonna add the 3 columns. So right here, I'm going to click on, or actually I'm going to go find on the image. All right, so there's one image, and go ahead and upload it. Now also, if there is a URL from like Google or wherever you want to use the image, you can just go ahead and put in the URL right there. You don't have to upload it, okay? But if that image ever disappears, if that person changes it or something, then your image will obviously disappear. So you might want to upload it to your server. So right here, I'm going to click on upload, and I'm going to grab this one right here and click on upload an image. Same thing right here. I'm going to click on this little plus, and I'll go ahead and add in an image. And here we'll add in this little cute little, little thing right there. And then over here, I will add in one more and put in this image. Go ahead and upload it, and I will use this one right here. All right, now guys, I mean, look at this. It's the website is already starting to come along. It's already starting to kind of look good, and it's so easy to do this. It's really not difficult. Now I want to create a section below that. All right, I want to go ahead and put in something that talks about these three images. So right here under this plus section, we're going to add in 3 more, and we're going to use this section to sort of talk about whatever images, and we're going to use the blurb. All right, so go ahead and give it a title. Right here, I'm going to put style guides. Okay, and you can also have a URL if you would choose to put it, like if you want to take them to another part of the website, but that's kind of unnecessary. You don't need to put in so many URLs on your website. And yes, I want to use an icon. So we have all these icons right here that we can add, but I'm actually going to click on no because I want to add in my own image. So right here under upload, I'm going to go ahead and select this cute little box right here, this radio box, and click on upload an image. All right, so now we're starting to add in like the color scheme for the website. We're starting to give it decor. We're starting to sort of set the tone for the website. Like, how do you want people to think about it? Like a professional website, like a cute website, or whatever. And right here, I'm going to add in my secret favorite dummy text. All right, so there is my dummy text. I'm going to click on that check, and there you go. Now you can make some changes to this. Maybe you want to go ahead and add in some spacing between this. So right here, I'm going to click on this and go to the design. So the header font, maybe you want it, you can move this around too as well. You can also kind of put it like on the sidebar right here if it's easier for you to sort of help give you an idea. But I don't like to do that because sometimes it doesn't give you a picture perfect of the website. I'd rather do it like something like, let's see here, like that. That's good. So right now we are editing this section. So the header font size, maybe 20. And the header letter spacing. So we can choose the letter spacing right there. And the line height. So here, I actually kind of want to change the line height. I kind of want it to separate a little bit to give it that little, clarity. So now people can actually see what we're changing. So it does look a little bit better, okay? And then scrolling down here, you can go ahead and change the body font. And, like I said, for the rest of your website, guys, you guys should basically be using like maybe 1 to 2 fonts max. Don't use a bunch of them because then your website will look clashy. It will look tacky. So I'm going to change it to black. And, you can change the body line height as well. Something like this. Or you can change the spacing. Looks like that. That looks really ugly. What did I do? We're gonna change that back. Okay, that looks fine. All right. And also you can add in a background image to this specific section. You can add in like a small background color to it. But, it looks good like that. It looks clear. It looks pretty good. So going over here, we don't really need to use the margin. Now for the top margin, guys, let's say, for example, you want to make a space. So what this is basically saying, I want it 15 pixels away. So if you want to make it like, 0, it'll be 0. But let's say you want to have it like 50 pixels away. You see how it's creating this space right here? Now you can do this to basically any sort of direction. But remember, it's only going to stay within those little green bars. All right. So if you want to add a custom padding as well, the padding is basically space. So the margin is basically saying we want to create a margin, but the padding is basically saying we want to create padding. We want to create a permanent effect that nothing will be there. Okay. So basically that's the custom margin and the padding. We'll probably use this a little bit more later, but this is just a very small example. Now I'm going to click on check. Now instead, guys, of redoing that whole section 3 times, we can just duplicate this section and simply just drag it over instead of manually doing it like other themes. So here, whoop, I'm just gonna go ahead and drag it over there. Now, let's say you wanna get a little bit more cockier and kind of just duplicate this whole row. We can go ahead and just duplicate the whole row. I mean, it's so much easier than to like do it all by scratch, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and just trash this. I think 3 is good. But we do need to sort of change the font and all, or the the text. We can't have it all duplicate stuff like that. So I'm gonna do brand creation and graphic design. And here I'm gonna add in a camera instead. So we don't want to use the same images, using the same images, it makes your site look a little strange. So I'm going to add in this camera. And then right here, I'm going to add in this little painting thing. Looks kind of cute. So let's go ahead now and look at our site. Let's go ahead and see what we've done. So it's starting to come together, guys. It's already starting to look really well. It's really starting to look pretty good. So let's continue. Let's keep going. We're on a roll. Let's go ahead now and create the next section, which we're going to start adding in some bars. So right here, I'm going to click on this little add new section, and I'm going to go to regular. Okay. Now I'm actually just going to go ahead and just choose one row for now, and we're going to use the call to action again. And then right here we can put something like who we are. Who we are. All right. And then right here for the background image, I don't want anything there. So I'm just going to go ahead and probably just, leave that like that. Now, remember, once you do that, you will need to basically, add your color to the font, or else it's going to disappear. So I'm adding dark. All right. And I'm just going to go ahead and click on check. Now I want to add in some more sections. So the website we had earlier, it had 2 different sections. So let me go ahead and go to that website. I'll use this to sort of compare and contrast to sort of help you get ideas. So right here, we have the call to action. Now we want to go ahead and add in 2 sections. So we're going to add in a call to action here, and we're going to add in bar counters here. So just by looking at this, this is a 2-column row already. So 1 column, 2 columns. So let's go ahead and create it. So right here, I'm going to click on this plus icon and click on the 2-column row now. And for this section, we're going to add in a call to action. And right here, I'll put something like a strategy planning. And I will not add in a URL. I will not add in button text. But right here, I'm going to go ahead and shoot in some text right there. Now, I do not want to add in a background color. So I will actually need to go ahead and say, I want this dark. But here, maybe you want to go ahead and add in some more text. I'll put a little bit more text right here. And then I'll put maybe, yeah, that's good. Now let's just say you want to center this text, or you want to make it move around to however you would like it. Right here you have these little icons. So this will actually change it to however you want it to look. So you want it to the left right there. Now the text is facing the left side. You see that? But let's just say you want to go ahead and move it around. You can actually click on that, and this will actually kind of, it will move it around to however you want it. You can have it like justified. You can have the dots. You can do basically virtually anything with this. Okay. So going back over here, I'm gonna click on this, and I don't want to add in the number. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click on the number again. Let's see how to delete that. There we go. Okay. So right here, I want it in the center, and right here, I'm gonna add in some more text. Let's see if that worked. Boop. Okay, I have to take my dump. Maybe I copied something on accident. That happens quite a bit. So here, I'll go ahead and paste it in. There we go. All right, so I got a little bit more text right there. All right. Now over here, I want to go ahead and add in a section, but yeah, let's do that first. And then we'll add in a background, and that will basically make it look very different than what it looks like right now. So right here, click on this plus, and we are going to add in some bar counters. So bar counters, and let's go ahead and add in some items. So right here, I'm gonna add one. I'm gonna put creativity, and let's give that 88%. Now for the design, guys. So for the design, I kind of want this to look a little bit different. So the background color, what kind of background color do you want it to be? Well, I kind of like it to have that reddish color, I I like that reddish color that we had earlier. So going over here, tell you what, let's go ahead and steal that same exact number. I think it's this right here. Is that right? Oh, I had caps lock on. So let's go ahead and give you that same exact color, just because I like to make it look kind of like the demo. And I'm going to enable this visual builder, and I'm going to find out that exact color. All right, so scrolling down here, I'm going to go ahead and click on this, go to the bar counter, design, background color. Here we go. All right, so I'm actually going to take this right here, and I'm going to put this as our background color. And I'll paste it in there. So now we have that background color that applies. All right. And for the bar background color, we can have something like this right here, where we have like a black. Now you kind of want to choose like two color schemes, guys. You want to choose like, something that corresponds to each other. So I kind of like it like that. And the label color, we can choose the label color as well. So that would correspond to this section right here. And the percent color. So you can actually change the actual percent color right here, but I'm going to leave it as white. I think white looks good. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and checkbox this. And right here, you can go ahead and change like the same settings, guys. The title fonts, you can change the font. So maybe I'm going to leave it as default. And I'm going to basically increase the size a little bit. Make it like, 20. And give it some letter spacing. That looks good. So I think that's basically all I want to do. You can actually change the percent font as well right here. See how it's like a fat 88? See that? So you can change that too, whatever you'd like to do. But I'm going to go ahead and just take that. Now, guys, instead of actually making more, just copy them. Just duplicate them like that. Make it easier on yourself. So right here we have 2 bars, but let's say you want to edit this. So right here, actually, you know what? No, that's actually a bad example because we kind of want to keep them together. So I'm going to go ahead and trash these right here, and we're just going to have to go ahead and create one more right here. See how they're a little bit closer? So that might be a bad example of duplicating. I want them much closer together. So right here, I'll put something like marketing. And the percent, we will add in 88. Actually, no. We'll say we're bad at marketing. Well, we're not good at marketing. We suck at it. So the background color, and go ahead and put that color right there. And the bar background color, maybe want to add as black. The label color, I want to add as black. And I think that's it. And of course the font, guys, you can just tell right here, it kind of looks a little strange. We have this right here and this right here. So we kind of want to always keep it at the same font. All right. But I'm not going to do that because I'm lazy and I'm not going to go through that. So I'm just going to go ahead and checkbox that. Now I want to add one more. So right here, I'm going to add one more and I'm going to put skills. And I have no skills at all. So I'm going to put 25. So we're adding 25% there. Okay. And then right here, same thing, guys, design, the background color. Go ahead and paste this. And the bar color, the label color, black, percent, white. All right. So I'm going to click on that. And I think that's about it for this section, And also, guys, remember those little red icons, we will add these a little bit later once we talk about custom CSS. And this does add a lot to your website. These little red bars, they truly do add direction, but we will add that a little bit later in this tutorial. Do not worry. Now let's go ahead and add in a background image. So right here, we have this blue section. And remember, this blue section controls everything about this section right here. So you want to make these changes to it. The blue section does that. The teal section controls everything within this section right here. Do you see the difference? So let's go ahead and add in an image. So right here, under the gear icon, go and click on that. And I'm going to click on upload an image. All right. Now I want to add in this image right here. I want this to be my background. So I'm going to click on upload an image and check. So there you go. So guys, just that image alone has added a lot of decor to our website. It really is images and content that people truly they buy. That's basically what they want. But let's just say we want to make this row a little bigger. So right here under this gear icon, we can click on that. Now we can actually make this bigger. So let's just say we want to make this row full width. Now you see the row is full width. Let's say you want to make it a custom width. So right here I'm going to put custom width. And we can, choose if we want this really small or we want it really, really big. So now it's stretching across the entire page. All right. Now gutter width. So what is gutter width? Well, it basically brings these together. It reduces the space in between the modules. Now, there is a reason to use gutter width. Gutter width is very important, but we're not going to use it here. We're going to use it when we talk about images. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and check. And here, this basically looks pretty good. The text actually, maybe we want to go ahead and add it to the left. And then this section right here, we can go ahead and add that to the left as well. So that looks a little bit more cleaner with something like that. And here you might want to make the text dark. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do that myself. I am a perfectionist, you guys can tell. So right here, I'm going to go to the color on the body font, and I'm going to change the text color to black. Oops, black. All right. And there you go. So the text is now black. Okay. So we have successfully created this section. Very simple, very easy. You might want to make this a little bit bigger, the who we are, because it is a little small. You can probably make it like a little bit bigger, something that looks like that, to sort of bring a more of a title. And we will add in the little line a little bit later. Okay. So now let's go ahead and add in our team. So I'm gonna click on this plus section, go to regular, and now we're going to basically do the same thing. We're gonna click on this. I'm gonna add in a call to action, and I'm gonna add in our team. And I don't want to use a background color. Now for the design, let's just all keep it at 40. We're keeping the text at 40. I think 40 is good for the, for the title, and we want to make sure that it is black. All right. So our team. All right. And guys, just like here now, you guys can basically start getting the idea. This is a 3-column row, and we are going to be using profiles. We're going to be basically making profiles for each person, and there is a person module for this. Okay. So going over here, I'm going to click on this little plus section and click on this plus icon. Now we're going to add in the person module. And the person module will give them like their Facebook. It will give them a brief synopsis about the person. It is a very useful module. So right here, I'll click on person, and go ahead and give this person a name. So is this Bob, or let's name him? I'm gonna put Darrel Wilson. All right. And then position, you can add in a position for this person. Maybe he's a, I'll just put WordPress guy. WordPress guy. Now the image URL, we can go ahead and click on this and select this guy right here. All right. So we have Darrel Wilson, a WordPress designer or WordPress guy. And right here, you can go ahead and put in your favorite icons, your LinkedIn, whatever you would like. So of course, you're not going to put these little number signs. You're going to, put whatever you would like right there. Okay. And then here you can go ahead and give a brief description about the person. So I'm going to give some dummy text right here, and simply just go ahead and put in some dummy text and check it. And there you go. So like I said, design's everything. So if you want it in the centered, we can go ahead and just click on this gear icon, and right here under the setting right here, you can put this in the center. And also you can go ahead and say, I want animation. So you want this to fade in, or do you want it to go from left to right, or from right to left? Now, a good idea would be, have this go left to right, maybe this one coming from the top, and then this one over here coming right to left. Okay. So that is an idea of, something that you can do. And then also design, you can change the icon colors here. You can change the icon hover colors. Now, I recommend doing it with that red color that we had going on, so if somebody hovers over it, now it turns red. You see that? So right here, you can change the header font. You can change the font size. So you want the font a little bit bigger, etc. And also for the body font, which the body font controls this section right here. Okay. So, you can go ahead and go through these and, add in whatever you would like. You can add in a border. The border, of course, is white here, but if you change the color, it's going to add this blue little border around it. So you can add that as well. But I don't like borders. I really don't like borders. So going back over here, that is basically the settings for this. But maybe I want to go ahead and change this section right here to kind of make it look a little bit more stretched out, something like that. That's a little bit better. And that's basically the most we can do with the title for that. So maybe we'll go over here and I'll go ahead and change this to left. Okay. And also guys, remember, you can duplicate this whole entire module and just go ahead and ship it over to here. And once again, ship it over to here. Voila, there we go. Of course, we're going to change the name for all of these. We can't have the same pictures. So you want to click on the gear icon, the image URL. We'll go ahead and change that to something like this girl. And we'll name her Alicia. Alicia Wilson. She's my wife. All right. So in this tutorial, she's my wife. So we'll click on this check. And then over here, I'll go ahead and change this again. And we will name this something like Anne. And casino. And I don't know where I thought of that. I don't know. I just threw it out there. And then we'll change the image right there. And maybe the animation we want from right to left. All right. So she's coming in from right to left. And then we'll change her from something like animation from top to bottom. Yeah, like that. Okay. So if I scroll down like this guy's going to come to the left. She's going to come from the top. And then she's going to come from the left side. Okay. So that is basically our team, guys. It's a very simple section to use. The modules are very, very, like I said, it's super easy to use. Now let's go ahead and create this section right here. We want to create these images, and we want to basically make sure there's no space in between them. So this is where we're going to introduce to the margin and the padding. All right. So over here, I'm going to click on this plus section, go to regular, and click on these four little, icons. So let's go ahead and add in an image for each of these. Let's go ahead and put in the same images that we had for the tutorial. So over here, I'm going to go to image, select an image, and I'm going to select this one right here. All right. And this one right here, I'm going to go to images, and we're going to use this image as well. All right. And same thing right here. I'm going to select an image. And let's go ahead and select that little book that we had. I think we had a book, this little book right here. All right. And then over here, we're going to add in that beautiful cloth, that red and blue cloth. All right. So we have these icons, but they don't look good like that. This looks like 1990. This does not look good. So let's go ahead now and reduce the space between the row and this section. So going over here, click on this gear icon. We want to make this row full width. Now for the custom gutter, we don't want any space. So make it 1. Now you guys see that we have this space right here. So this looks pretty good. You know, it's already starting to look better, but there's still this space up here. So up here under this blue icon, we can actually scroll down, and we want to make the padding 0 on everything. So what that means is basically saying, I don't want any space on the top, to the right, to the bottom, to the left. There you go. So now we have virtually no space in between the modules. And a really quick shortcut is if you want to just go ahead and duplicate this row, we can go ahead and duplicate this entire row. Okay. Now here you might want to go ahead and reduce this and reduce that. So now it is super, let's see here. We can go ahead and zip that up a little bit. And then this section up here, we can go ahead and, put that. Now, another way to do that, guys, is just to click on this and just add in 0 padding on the bottom right here. So here, we'll just go ahead and add in 0 and 0. So that is another way instead of, grabbing it and trying to, oh, that looks so good, etc. So that is another way how you can just reduce the padding on this icon. Just go ahead and put 0 for all. So right here, I have 27 pixels on the bottom right here, but I'm just gonna put it to 0. Now there's nothing. Okay, so that is a quick shortcut. Now, we can actually go ahead and put some different icons right here. So this module settings, I want to go ahead and add in something like the book. Okay, and then right here, I want to add in those little letters. Now, you don't have to follow me, guys. I'm just, venturing off now. Now I'm doing my own thing. So I'm like ignoring my audience almost. No, I'm kidding. It's good to diversify. It's good to have different images everywhere. You don't want to have the same images everywhere because then your website looks very tacky. Okay, so now we add in these images right here. So this section right here, the images are added and it looks really, really good. Okay, so that is an example, guys, of how you can add in those images to your your website. And also, let's go ahead and say you want to add in some design to it. So right here, I'm just gonna click on one. I'm just gonna teach you how to do one, okay? So this section right here, I'm gonna go to module settings. I wanna go ahead and open this in the lightbox. Now you can add in an image overlay and an overlay icon. So maybe you wanna go ahead and add in an icon. So if they hover over it, you see the icon now? There's a little icon. So if somebody hovers over it, then you can go ahead and add in an icon. So maybe this little checkbox. Now the same thing, guys, with the persons, you can add in an animation. So you can make it go right to left, top to bottom, bottom to top, etc., fade in, or you could have no animation whatsoever, okay? And the image alignment, we don't need to mess with this because we have already done the padding. We don't really need to move this over. Now for the design, we don't really need to mess with that settings too much. So basically right here, we are all set, ready to go. But let's just say you want to change the color of that. Right here, let's go ahead and change it to that like red color we have. You know, we want to keep it consistent. And also we have the hover overlay color. So we can add in like a hover overlay color. Only if they hover over it, it will sort of turn like this blue section right here. So that's a pretty cool effect that you can have as well for your images. So if you want to go ahead and add this effect, that would be a good idea for you to add, okay? So going back over here, I'll click on this little check. So we've done a lot so far, guys. You know, congratulations. Our homepage is nearly complete, guys. Congratulations. This is probably the hardest part. Your landing page, guys, you have about like 5 to 10 seconds to convince somebody to stay on your website. So your landing page is the most important part of your website. I cannot stress that enough, okay? So now let's go ahead and create some more little, we'll create latest posts. We'll create like a miniature blog, but we're actually gonna create a sub blog, and I'll basically introduce you why we're doing that. So right here under add a new section, we're gonna go to regular. And I'm gonna add in this section right here. And right here, I'm just gonna add in call to action, just like we've been doing before. And right here, I'll put our posts. And, you know, we can go ahead and just, you know, take out this and, you know, add this to dark. All right. And right here, we're not gonna put nothing. So we have this section right here. We have our posts. All right. Now I actually want to create sort of a custom blog. I don't want to use the same one that Divi gives me. Now, when Divi gives you is actually good, but I'm just sort of trying to expand your imagination a little bit. So going back over here, let's see if we can grab something. Going back over here, maybe we can go ahead and, you know, duplicate this row. And I want to go ahead and just drag these down over here. I want to go ahead and steal these images now. All right, so I've actually, you know, taken this right here. I've grabbed these images. Now let's just say I want to go ahead and add in some text below that. So right here under the blurb, I'm actually going to just, you know, I'm kind of lazy here, guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and just duplicate this and just drag this down. And we're just going to drag that down below. But here, you know, I might want to go ahead and delete the icons. You know, I don't want to use the images right here. So right here, I'm going to just, you know, go ahead and delete these. And I'm going to go ahead and backspace these. And I'm going to go ahead and backspace these as well. All right. Now right here, I want to change the images. I don't want to use the same images that we were using before. So right here, I'm going to put something like, we'll click on upload. And we'll put this right here. And then I'll go ahead and maybe change this text to like our studio. All right. And then right here, I'm going to change this to this little guy. All right. Oh, he's not little, but you know, it's just, and then our photographer. And then right here, I'm going to change this to something like best research. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and change this picture. All right. And then I'll go ahead and click on check. And we'll do something like best research right here. Okay. Now, when somebody clicks on these images, you can control where you want them to go. Okay. So right here under this gear icon, we have this, you know, we have the URL, but we have the link URL right here. So later on in the tutorial, guys, we're going to make a blog page, and we can actually design our sort of own blog. We can basically get a little bit more creative than what Divi allows us to be. So for example, we can add a background here. We can add in all sorts of really cool stuff, you know, so we will create the blog a little bit later, but this is just an example of a creative style blog. You know, we're not using the default standard blog that Divi gives us. We can make anything, you know. So these pictures will later take us to the blog, okay? So this is an example of a little bit more creativity as far as designing your own blog, because remember, you can link them anywhere. So you can just say, this is our blog, you know, and then have these go to your blog post instead of using the default blog that Divi gives you, okay? So let's go ahead now and create the next section. We're gonna create this section right here. And it's a very simple section. It's just a 2-column row. This is a call to action with no button, but we can add a button this time. And this right here is just an image, all right? So right here, I'll click on this plus new, click on regular, and click on these 2 buttons right here. All right, so this button right here, simple guys, add an image, simple. You guys already know how to do this. So add an image, I'm just gonna select the image, upload the image, voila. Over here, I'm gonna add in a call to action, and I'll put something like strategy planning. And then I'll actually put in a button URL. And then contact us. Now for the background color, I don't want anything, nothing. And for the text color, we're gonna make this a little bit dark. So we're gonna have this a little bit darker, okay? The text orientation, you might want it to the left, something that looks like that. And right here, we'll go ahead and add in some dummy text. I'll add in a lot of dummy text. So copy, and simply just go ahead and paste whatever you would like to be in there. So now we have this right here. Now we want to go ahead and change the button. So over here, we're going to click on this little button icon, and just like how we had up here, guys, way at the top the first time, it's the same exact settings for the button. So going over to design, and go ahead and go through this right here if you want to change the font size for the header. So remember, the header controls this section. Below that, the body, this controls this section. Now if we keep scrolling down, you're going to see it says use custom styles for button. So if I click on yes, now we can actually change the button. We can actually change this specific section right here. So for the button text color, I want to go ahead and change it as black. And that's it. I just want to leave it as black. I don't want to change anything else. I don't want to add in a background color because I'm going to add in our own background. So going over here on this gear icon, I want to add in a background to this now. I want to basically start, distincting the sections so the user knows different sections of our website, right? So over here under background image, I'm gonna click on this and simply just go ahead and add in a background image. So guys, it has drastically changed because we added the background section. And right here, you can link them to your contact page. So right here under the gear icon, the button URL is when they click on this button, where do you want to take them? So I'm just going to go ahead and say, you know what, you're right now, you're not going anywhere. So if they click on it, it's not going to take them anywhere, okay? But you would want to put something that takes them to somewhere on a different part of your website. Now let's just say you want to expand this section. Over here on this gear icon, I'm going to click on this and say, I want this row full width. So now you see the text is starting to basically get bigger, and also the image got bigger. Now let's just say, for example, this text over here is too long. Oops, sorry about that. This text over here is too long. I don't like it. I want it a little bit shorter, but I like the width of this image. I want to keep that, but I want to reduce this section and maybe stretch it out. So over here under this icon, we're gonna go to design, okay? Now max width, let's just say we want to give it a max width of something like 500 pixels. So now if I enter in 500 pixels, it's basically saying this text will only go to 500 pixels and then go back. So let's say 300 pixels, it's gonna get smaller. So now it's basically saying, the text will only basically go as far as 300 pixels. So I'm gonna do 400. I think 400 is good. So 400 is a pretty good, size. I think that looks pretty well. Now for the body font, maybe you want to go ahead and change the line height. Maybe you want to go ahead and say, I want it like this right there. Okay. Now let's just say, for example, I want to push this down right here, this strategy planning. I want it a little bit down more. There's too much space right here. So I'm going to click on this right here, and I want to create a margin. Okay. We talked about margins earlier. I'm going to go to design, and I'm going to scroll down to margin. Now I want to add in maybe like something like 20 pixels, or let's do 30 pixels. So now you can see that the box is moving because we're creating a margin. So if I created 50, you're going to see that now it looks pretty good. It actually 40 looks good. So it's creating a space right here. So that is what the margin's for. And you can use it for the right, the left, or the bottom. You can basically control where you want it to be. Now, let me just show you something a little strange, what you can do with this, but that actually works for pictures. So the custom margin, let's say I want to do negative. I want to add negative 300. Okay. So the custom, let's see right here. No, it's to the left. I think it's to the left. 300, yeah. So we can actually say, okay, so I want it negative 300. So now the text over here is sort of overlapping the picture. Yeah, the picture itself. So you can basically, you know, get really creative and maybe have like a text over the image if you would like to sort of, you know, add decor or something like that. But, you know, I'm just introducing you to the negative. You don't have to use it, but I just want to make sure that you understand what you can do with this. I mean, you can make that text go anywhere you want. You can bring it way up here if you would like. You know, you can have these images overlapping each other, etc. So that is a little tutorial on the margin. It's really good. It's really easy to use. It's very powerful. It can really control anything about your website, guys. Okay. So right here, I'm gonna click on this check. And the next thing we're going to do is our customers. So we're basically just going to create a section, which is our customers, and then add in 4 little icons right here, and of course a call to action. You guys have probably already seen this, and don't worry about this this section right here. We will add this a little bit later. Okay, so don't worry about the red. We are going to add that. It's going to look really good, but for now, let's just go ahead and add this in. So over here, I'm gonna click on this, and we're gonna do regular. I'm adding this section right here, and we're going to add in a call to action. And right here, I'll put something like our customers. Oops, I want to make it all caps. Now, we do not want to put a button URL, okay? And I do not want a background image. And I kind of want this black, okay? And right here, let's go ahead and add in some text. So I'm going to steal this dummy text right here. And we are going to just go ahead and paste this text in there. And then we're going to click on check. Okay. Now remember, guys, we're going to add in the bar divider a little bit later because I know it does look a little different than right here, and that's only because we have space. That is the only difference, guys. It is just space. It does look like drastically different, but it's only because there's just a little space between that. So we can actually fix that right here and just go ahead and put in the, I think enter would be good. Like that. Yeah, so you can basically create as much space as you would like. Now let's go ahead and add in 4 images. So right here, I'm gonna click on add a new row and add 4 images. Now, I don't want it like this. You know, this was basically a row all the way. I just kind of want to keep it, you know, I want to maybe reduce, or I'm sorry, increase the size, but I don't want to make it full screen. You know, I don't want that look for this. So over here, I'm gonna go to image, upload image, and simply just select these 4 images. So culpa. Right here, I'll add the labor. And this one right here. Here we'll add the ipsum. And then here we will add the culpa. Image. All right, so I mean that looks good enough, guys. It looks pretty standard. It looks actually almost identical to what we have right here. The only difference is that we want to basically increase some more space. We want to go ahead and add a little bit more space to this. So over here, we can actually click on this little icon right here, and we can actually add a custom width. So for example, right here, I'm gonna go to custom width, and we can actually determine how far we want this to look. So you see how now the custom width is much smaller. We want it to be bigger. We can increase the width. Now, if we want these images scrunched together, we can make the custom gutter width at 1, and these will be as close as possible. Now, the reason why there's still a gap is because these images actually have a white space around it, okay? So going over here, now I'm gonna go ahead and leave this section. I think this section is good. Let's go ahead now and do the footer, which is the last part of the page. Now, we're actually gonna create a custom footer, and the reason why is because we can actually create a very elegant style contact section rather than just the default settings that the theme comes with. So going over here, let's go ahead now and make a custom footer. So add a new section, regular, click on this right here, and I'm going to do something like a call to action. I just put, contact us, and button URL, I'll put nothing, background color, nothing, text orientation, I want it dark. Now I'm going to go to design and maybe make this a little bit bigger. So the font size, maybe I want it around 40. Okay. So now I want to actually go ahead and create the 3 sections below. So I want to go ahead and actually add in 3 more sections. So right here, click on add a new row, add these 3 sections, and I'm actually going to use blurbs this time. Now guys, you can use call to actions, you can use a text module, you can use, whatever you would like to use for this specific section. But right here, I'm just going to go ahead and add in a blurb. All right, and I'm going to give it a title. So right here, I'm going to put something like about the studio. And I'm not going to put an icon. I'm not going to put anything else. All I'm going to do is go over here and add in some dummy text to it. And there you go. So I'm going to click on check. Now maybe that's a little bit too much. So maybe right here, I'll do something like, I'll take out some of that text. It's a little too much, for the bottom parts. You don't want to include too much text on the bottom. It's kind of like a going away section. You don't want to throw content at them. Something like that right there. And then over here, I'll put in something like address. And then we can go ahead and scroll down right here. I'll go ahead and put in some more text right here and add this in right there. And then over here, we'll add in something like, like newsletter. And then I will scroll down and we will go ahead and put in some text right here. Okay. Now, of course, for this section right here, you might want to put in your actual address. You want to go ahead and put something like your, let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and center this and we'll go ahead and put something like, Agency West, something that sort of gives them an idea of your location. Going over text over here, I'm gonna probably put like Design Hill, New York, and then phone, and then we'll do cell phone. I know you can add like the plus sign. I think like the plus sign is like international, right? So over here, we'll do something like 1, 2, 3. Then here, maybe you want to put your like hello@agency.com. And then same thing right here, info@agency.com. Okay, so something that looks like that right there, but maybe we want to go ahead and space it out accordingly because it doesn't look proper like this. It kind of looks a little strange. For the visual, we might want to go ahead and make some changes to that. So we can actually make it as justified, and the justified section will basically make it so each specific line is its own section. Now, the reason why the top one doesn't is because we actually added this style right here. So right here, I'll just go ahead and add in agency, and then maybe West, and then New York. I don't know, whatever address you got right there, So then here again, I'll go ahead and click on this, and we will go ahead and justify these settings to make it look something a little bit more like that. So maybe we want to go ahead and center this. Let's see here. We can go ahead and probably put this to the right. Maybe that'll work. Or we can go ahead and just go ahead and say leave this to the center like that. Okay? Yeah, so we want to leave it as the center. So that looks good. Now we want to go ahead and maybe push some space right here. We don't want too much space. So let's go ahead and add in some space right here. Okay, and also right here, I'm gonna go ahead and push this down a little bit more. And now let's go ahead and just add in a background image. So I know it looks a little strange right here, but once you add in the background image, guys, it does a lot to your website. It truly does. So I'm gonna add in the background image, and now we have a fully functional bottom section contact page. We can make it look a little bit different. So you drag it up, and something that looks like that. Okay. So, and also guys, remember, we're going to add in that red line right here below each of these call to actions, and it's really going to add a lot of decor to our website. Believe it or not, that red line will actually add a lot to our website. So guys, we've actually made the homepage. Congratulations. We are on our way to amazing things. So right here, I'm clicking on these the purple icons and click on save. You want to go ahead and save this whole section, okay? Now, another thing I wanted to introduce you all is to the menu. Now, we have this menu right here, but that wasn't the menu I used in my tutorial. We used this elegant style, where we use this really nice looking style. So let's go ahead and use that menu instead. So the first thing we're going to do is exit the visual builder, and we're actually going to change the menu. So over here, under this blog, we can go to Theme Customizer. Okay, and this is where we can actually make the menu look a lot of different ways. There is a lot of navigation and decoration that we can add to the menu. So going over here to the header navigations, we're gonna go to the primary menu bar. So right here, we can make this, we can make it full width, and you can actually just get rid of the whole menu if you want. You don't want this white space. You can actually change that as well. So right here, we're gonna say, do you want to hide the logo image? And don't worry, I will actually discuss where you can get a logo and also where you should put it near the end of the tutorial, okay? So over here is the text color. So right here corresponds to the text color. Now the active link color is basically saying when someone clicks on one of these pages right here, the link is going to turn that specific color. So now it turns blue, but if I go to the home is gonna turn blue, okay? Now over here is the background color. Now, if you wanna make this transparent, you wanna have nothing here, all you need to do is just reduce the transparency of the menu. So now there's nothing there except just the text, okay? And also if you have a drop-down menu, you can actually change the color of the drop-down menu as well. And right here you can change like the drop-down menu, etc. if you have a drop-down menu, okay? And I'll show you guys how to make a drop-down menu in just a second. It's basically really simple. So that is basically like the settings on how to do that. But let's just say we want to change this to have like a vertical or a full screen or get really customizable with the menu. I'm going to go back over here and go to header format. Now we have this header style right here. So click on this and click on centered. So now we have this section right here, the logo on the top with the menu right here. Or we can have center in line with logo. So now we have the logo in the middle of our pages, okay? Or we can have slide in, which was basically what we had before. So now if they click on this, it's gonna basically push the menu out and we're gonna see the menu from that perspective. Now there's another way we do it, which was the way I originally had it, was full screen. So right here, if I click on this, it's going to basically turn this section right here to our menu right here. So I actually changed this section to white and I just changed this to a red color, okay? So right here, I'm gonna click on save and publish and we're going to make it look like I had it. So going back over here. So slide in and full screen header settings. So the background color, I wanna basically say, I want this transparent, or we can say, I want this purple, or I want it white, etc. Whatever color you want to add it as. So this is where you would add the color. So I added more like of a, I think I added like a dark color. Now that is actually a pretty cool looking color. So the menu link color. So earlier before, when somebody clicks on it and it has that specific link color, what color do you want it to look like, okay? Now for the, I'm sorry, that was for the active link color, sorry. Now for the menu link color, you can go ahead and change this as well. So this is basically saying the ones that are not clicked on, that is how it's going to look. Now, if you want them all to look a specific color, just simply change them all to red. So now you have all of them as red, okay? So that is an example of how you can decorate this specific section, okay? So maybe right here you want to go ahead and add these as something. I think let's see here. Maybe teal. Teal actually works. It's kind of a cool transition effect it has right there, something like that. All right, we'll leave it like that. So that is an example, guys, of how you can decorate the menu, how you can get decorative. There's a lot of different options. You can have it as like, you can have it as a vertical menu. We're basically saying, you can just say, let's see right here. So I put it as default, but right here, I'm gonna do enable vertical navigation. So now the menu is on the side right here, and you can change the side to the left, or you can change it to the right. Now, the vertical navigation has actually increased in popularity because it's like a modern look. It's a modern hip look, you know? But for this tutorial, I'm just gonna go ahead and do full screen. I'm just letting you guys know the options are limitless. You can change the menu to whatever you would like, okay? So I'm gonna click on save and publish here. And I'm gonna click on this right here. So now I wanna actually show you the backend editor, guys. We haven't talked anything about the backend editor. So going to edit page, this is basically a brief synopsis of what we've done. So a full screen header, a call to action, an image, etc., etc. Now you can make changes to the backend just like the front end. So right here, for example, I wanna go ahead and add a row, you know, a 3-column row, just like earlier. I can click on a module and, you know, add a blurb module. And I have the same exact options, guys, as we had as the front end editor, okay? And this was the old style of making it with Divi, because before they didn't have a front end editor, but now since Divi 3.0 came out, they do. So I don't really use this too much. However, sometimes if there's a module where I don't know where it's at, I will go onto the backend editor saying, okay, where is this? What did I do, etc. So this is the backend editor, guys. And like I said, it's so simple. Call to action, person, person, person. 4 images, you know, image, 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 image. And then right here, of course, we reduce the padding to 0. So going over here, custom padding is 0, 0, 0, and 0 right there as well, okay? So that's basically a quick synopsis of the backend editor. There isn't much use for it anymore because people tend to use the front end editor, but I'm just still introducing you all to the backend editor because it is very helpful, okay? So I'm gonna go to visit site right here. And now, guys, we are going to take a step further and we are going to actually create the About Us page. But you know, guys, actually before we do this, I think you guys are ready, all right? I'm going to introduce you all to the custom CSS where you can get that little line. So over here, I'm gonna go back to our home page. Now there is some custom CSS in the description, okay? So I'm gonna go back to my home page. Now right here we have who we are, right? So let's go ahead and enable the visual builder, and I'm gonna give you the script that you need to basically put this in. Hey guys, so before we enter this text in, I actually made like a little revision. I want you guys to enter in some custom CSS into the theme really quick. So before you put this in right here, which we are going to do right now, I want you guys to go to dashboard, and we're going to enter some custom CSS, which will basically make it automatic to put those in the middle. So going over to Divi and go to theme options. Now this code, guys, is in the description. So just go ahead and scroll down right here. And this is the code you will need. It says something like separator.small, etc. So just go ahead and press enter somewhere and go ahead and just paste this code in there. So it's gonna say like display block, positive or position relative, and this margin, etc. And click on save changes. And this will actually make sure that these little dashes are below the title on every single call to action or blurb that you have, okay? So I'm just letting you know this before you guys go ahead and put it in, because if you don't, it's going to actually put this over here. So let me just give you an example of what happens if you take it out. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and just say, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just delete all of this right here and go to save changes. So now if you go back to the website, you're gonna see that this right here is now over here, okay? So before you guys do that, make sure to enter that code in, okay? That's it, guys, and back to the tutorial. So right here, I'm gonna click on edit, and we are going to edit this module, all right? Now, I'm gonna scroll down right here, and you see how there's a visual and there's a text tab. You wanna make sure you're under the text tab, and simply press enter right there. Now, there is some text in the description, or I'm sorry, CSS. So all you need to do is go ahead and paste that script in there, all right? Now, this basically creates that line right there. So basically right here, we're creating some margin. We're creating 18 pixels of top margin. We're creating bottom margin. Background color, this is the color that I selected. Now remember, you can get this color just by going to, you know, any one of those modules and simply finding that code the same exact way we found it for the bar counters, okay? And this is the height. Now, of course, you can make it, you know, more height, etc. But I'm just gonna click on check. Now you're gonna see that there is this divider. Now guys, these little dividers, they really do add decor, and they really add the flavor to your website. I know it doesn't look like much, but to a person's first impression, they really do get a good impression on your website. So going back over here to who we are, same exact thing. I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna scroll down to the, see there's a visual and there's a text. So I'm just gonna simply paste this right here under the who we are, just like that right there, okay? So this is basically creating that little, bar right there. And same thing right here for our team, okay? Now guys, you guys are using code now. It's so easy. It's that simple. We're just creating like, you're learning how to use WordPress, you're learning how to use Divi, and now you're entering custom CSS as the modules. And it's not that hard. It's really, truly not that hard. So right here, same thing for our posts. And I'm gonna scroll down right here. And this is basically why I chose to use the call to actions as well, because it's just responsive, it looks better, it looks cleaner, etc. Okay. And for the strategy planning, I'm not gonna put anything. For the our customers, yes, I will put something here. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and put enter. Now remember, it must be in the text tab, okay? You're gonna enter that code in the text tab. And we'll go ahead and paste it. Okay, now the height. Let's say I wanna make the height a little bit bigger. Let's say 4 pixels, okay? So now you can see the bar is a little bit thicker because I made it 4 pixels, okay? So if you want that effect, that is how you would do it. And same thing here for the contact section. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and paste this right there, and there you go. So now we have that beautiful line, and it really adds decor to all of our websites, okay? So that is basically how you enter the line. I didn't wanna do it too much, but I think you guys are ready for it. I don't think it's that difficult, but some people get scared. They see custom CSS, they get freaked out. I said, it's not, it's easy. It's really, truly easy, okay? So let's go ahead and go back to our About Us page, and now we're going to do the About Us page. And now that I've shown you guys the text right there, or sorry, the code, we can continue to use that for the rest of our website without, fear of saying, oh, I don't want to do coding or something. It's really not coding. It's just entering a piece of custom CSS onto a module, okay? So let's go ahead and enable the visual builder, and now we are going to decorate this page, all right? All right, so here we're gonna go ahead and enter in a module. We're gonna go ahead and click on this little blue icon, and we're gonna do full width. And we're gonna use a full width header. Okay. Now guys, you can use different modules. You can add in a call to action. You can add in a text module, but I just want to basically create this section right here on the About Us section. And like I said, there's different ways you can do it. There's you can add a call to action, a regular text module, a blur module. It's limitless, guys. But I'm just going to pick your brain, and we're just going to use different modules just to get a little bit more comfortable with all the different types of modules. So I want this text right here in the center. Okay. And right here, I want, you can actually make this full screen. So let's say, for example, you want that like big landing page. This is how you can do it. So the full width header would be an example of that, but I'm not going to use it for that. I'm actually just going to make it as an about. Now I'm actually going to ignore all these options as far as adding in a button, adding in a background image URL, etc. Actually, no, I will add in a background image. So right here, I'm going to click on upload. Now I'm actually going to use this background right here, okay? I'm gonna use this one right here, and I'm gonna click on upload an image, okay? And then scrolling down right here, we can actually add the parallax effect. So if you guys want that effect of like, the image doesn't move or whatever, you can add in the parallax effect, but I'm actually not going to add it in, but that's just an option. I know like a lot of people use the parallax effect. I do have other tutorials on the parallax, but not this one. So right here under the text, guys, we're just going to simply enter in that piece of code. And there you go. So now we have that section already for us. So this blue section, let's go ahead and delete it. And there you go. Now we have this section ready to go. Now I'm actually going to save this. So there is an issue right here. The menu. This section is white. It doesn't look good because we want to make that transparency effect. So let's go ahead and do that before we continue with making the website. So I showed you earlier about the menu style options, but we want to go ahead and reduce the transparency on the white. So right here, I'm going to go to Theme Customizer, and now we're going to change the section where it is white. All right, so header navigation, and there is the primary menu bar. All right, so the background color, I want to go ahead and just reduce the transparency of the background color. So now we have the full image you can see showing, okay? So that is basically how you would create that transparency effect for the menu. So I'm gonna click on Save and Publish. And don't worry about the logo. There's actually a link in the description to Fiverr.com, which I will talk about how to get a really premium logo for like, a few bucks. It's like $5. All right. So I've basically made the change there. So now I want to go ahead and add in some blurbs. I want to basically create it like this right here. All right. And if you guys have remembered, this is basically blurb, 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 and it's just a 3-column row. Okay. So let me just go ahead and show you. Right here, I'm gonna click on this plus icon, and we're gonna click on regular. And also, guys, in this page, I'm going to introduce you to the Divi library. I don't want you guys to work too hard. I don't want you guys to, recreate everything. We want to use the theme and the ease of use as much as possible. So right here, I'm gonna click on 3 icons, and I'm gonna use the blurb icon right here. So the blurb, and then right here, we're gonna go ahead and give it a title. So I'm just gonna put something like photo equipment. And then no URL. And right here, I'm gonna go ahead and ignore the icon. And right here under image, I'm gonna go ahead and select an image. Actually, let's go ahead and use the blurbs instead. Tell you what, we'll go ahead and use the icons right here, and we will use these specific icons. So go ahead and just select an icon. I'm gonna go ahead and select something like what should we use here? This right here? Is that right there good? We'll go ahead and use that. Now for the icon color, I want to go ahead and change that to something like that red color we were using. I don't want to venture off. I want to basically use that same specific color. I think it was D something. Let's see here if I can find it. It's something like that. I think that's as close as we're gonna get. I just guessed too. So going back over here, we can actually change the image icon placement. So we can have it to the left instead. If you want something like that, you can add in that as well. Now right here, I'm gonna go ahead and enter in some dummy text, and simply just go ahead and paste this in the visual section. All right, something like that, but maybe that's too much text. It looks a little too messy for my book. So I'm gonna go ahead and reduce this, something like this. All right, and there you go. All right, so you can have this effect if you would like, or you can put the image on the top. But going back to these options, we can go to, actually, let me show you the other way you can do it. So right here, I'm gonna put the image to the top, okay? And I'm gonna go to design and use icon font size. So right here, we can actually change the size of the actual icon right here. Here, we can go ahead and change the icon, the header font, which is this section right here. We can change the header size, okay, which is this section right here. And then of course, the body font is referring to this section right here as well, okay? And scrolling down, we can add in like a border if you want a border for this specific section. But I don't think the borders look good, but there are a lot of uses for it. I have them on parts of my websites, but for this section, I wouldn't use it. I think it looks good. So basically, I'm gonna say that's good. So now let's go ahead and duplicate this. We'll go ahead and drag this up here. We'll go and duplicate this again, and we'll simply drag it up here. Now, instead of actually, duplicating this whole section, we can just duplicate this row and have it as a 3 specific section column. So this looks pretty good right here. We probably would want to change something like 1,000 words. Simply stunning. And go ahead and just talk about your company. You can use different icons as well. You do not want to use the same icons all over again because it just looks bad. It just looks, it doesn't look good. Design is key. Right here, we'll put something like full package. And then here, we'll put like get connected or get social. And then maybe for like get social, you can add in like the icon right here of like the little, I think they have like this one right here for the full package. You might want to use something like a mail letter or something like that. Design is key. I think they have an icon of a key right here. I think we can find it. Let's see here. Oh, there it is. Design is key. Perfect. Simply stunning. We can change it to just, I'm not even going to look. And then right for 1,000 words, we'll put something like this one right here. Okay. And let's just say we want to go ahead and expand these rows. We want to make it a little bit bigger. So we can just say make this row full width. And the same thing goes for this section right here. I want this row to be full width. So now this looks much cleaner, much professional, and the website's really starting to come along. It looks really, really well. Okay. So now that we've done that section, let's go ahead and do the next section, which is basically, by now, I hope you guys are starting to remember this. This right here is simply just a image, a background image that we've placed. This is a call to action, okay? So going over here, we're going to make a new row, and we're just going to make a 2-column row. So row, regular, 2 columns, right there, 2 columns. And on this section, we're going to add in an image. Okay, so image, upload image. We're going to use this section right here. And also for this next section right here, we're going to add in something. I think that's the right image. Is that the right one? I think mine was, let's see here. Oh, let's see. Yeah, it's this one right here, guys. Sorry, I chose the wrong one. This is a PNG file. So the PNG file has no background, okay? And then over here, we're simply going to add in a call to action. We'll put in a title. We'll put something like digital solutions. Digital solutions. And then we're not going to put a button. We're not going to put anything. I don't want background text. I want the text to be dark. Dark looks good. And right here, I'll just go ahead and throw in some more dummy text. So guys, really, the website is truly just images and just position, guys. That is it. That's how you're going to get phone calls. That's how you're going to get business. I'm telling you, people truly buy the position and content. It's just the way the human brain works. So keep that in mind, guys. It's not all about you being the best. You might be the best. You might be the best in your industry. But if you have something that just doesn't look good, people aren't going to call you, right? So right here under this section, we've basically created an image and a little, a little synopsis of your company. So over here under this blue icon, let's go ahead and add in a background image. So we're gonna add in this image and then upload an image. And there you go. So guys, the site is already starting to come along just by position of color, position of images, and just position of text, okay? So I wanna stress that design is everything, guys. It truly is everything, okay? So also in this section, guys, we're gonna talk more about the pre-made layouts. I'm actually going to give you guys a free pre-made layout that I have charged for on my website, but I'm only giving you one page. I'm only giving you one, which is the services, but you will actually receive a free pre-made layout in this tutorial, okay? So let's go ahead and do the next section, which we're going to do discover more. So right here, I'm going to click on plus, click on regular, and just simply click on this one right here. And I'm going to add in a call to action. I don't know why it automatically adds the background color. That is so ugly, right? It is so ugly. So I'll put something like discover. And then I don't want a background image. I want the text dark. And remember, guys, if you want to change this, this is the area to change the font size, to change the color, the font, everything, okay? So now under the text, I kind of want to grab this stuff right here again. I want to grab that line. I want to keep the website consistent. So going back over here, I'm going to grab the text again from, I'm just going to copy it from this section. And I want to go ahead and put this below the discover. So text, paste, boom. There we go. Now we have that continuous red look. It looks really good, really professional. Now I want to add 3 more sections right here. So this section, I want to go ahead and add in a 3-column row. And we're going to add images. We're going to add in 3 images, and then we're going to talk about those exact images, okay? And this can be anything, guys. It can be like our services. It can be our portfolio. It can be a bunch of different things. And remember, we're going to make a blog page, and it's going to connect the front page. I want to be creative. I want to expand the theme as much as possible. So right here, click on image, upload image, and we are simply going to upload. We can upload, let's see right here, this image right here. Okay, and then I'm gonna click on check. This image right here. And we're gonna go down to image. Now we're actually gonna manipulate this section a little bit more. We're going to actually expand it, make it look a little bit bigger because we don't want it to look, I think it looks a little too small like this, you can say. And it just doesn't look too professional, but we can make it a little bit bigger. And I'm gonna show you how to do that. So right here, another image. And I'm gonna upload this. All right, there we go. Okay, so now I want to basically say I want this a little bit tighter and I want it a little bit longer. So under the row settings right here, I want to actually use the gutter width and I want to reduce it, maybe 2. You see how we have spacing there now, a little bit spacing, and I want to make this custom width. So now you see that we have 80%. We can reduce it or we can make it bigger, etc. I think something around 80 is good. All right, so now the images are a little bit bigger and they have that small gap, but I don't want that clustered effect just yet. You know, it's not good for this specific section. And over here, I'm gonna click on this plus, and now we're gonna talk about these 3 images. So right here under the blurb section, I'm gonna put something like rebranding strategies, and then simply go down here and go to visual, and I'm just gonna simply paste this text in here. I'm sorry, oh, this is the wrong text. No, I don't wanna do that one. That will actually create the separator. So if I click on that, it'll actually click the separator, but I don't wanna do that. So also remember, this is a good example. If you paste it in the visual section, guys, it will look like this, okay? So remember, you must put it in the text section because then it will actually have the little bar, okay? So remember, the coding in the script is where you put in the text section for anything on WordPress, okay? But going back over here, I'm just gonna go ahead and take my my stuff. No, guys, actually, that kind of looks good. Maybe we can continue to do this. So you know what? I'll go ahead and just go down over here. On the text, I'll just go ahead and paste it below. Something looks like that, but that is a little bit too much text. So maybe just a little bit less. So that's a cool look, you know, and we can just go ahead and duplicate this section, drag it over here, duplicate this section. Now guys, when I do these tutorials, I think you can tell I'm not scripted. I don't have like a book where I read from. I just do it, you know. I just know how to use the theme, and I just get on my computer and I just say, all right, let's just do this. Let's create it, you know. So Beauty and the Beast. I don't know. Beauty and the Beast looks good. So this section right here looks very professional. And guys, like I said, it looks great. And we didn't really add too much. Just a 3-column row. You know, this section right here. But these actually really added to core, and they really added feature to our website, okay? So now let's go ahead and create this little section right here. Where is this crow? And we're actually going to introduce you to the slider module, but we're going to use it more as a testimonials. And it's not supposed to be used for that, but it actually works better than the actual reason why it's created, okay? So going back over here, I'm going to go to, we're going to create a new section. We're going to do regular, one section, and we're going to make a call to action. And right here, I'm going to put something like our customers. And then I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. I don't want a background color. I want to change this text to dark. And, you know, we can center it. And then right here under the text, maybe you want to go ahead and add in that code that we had. So let's go ahead and just, you know, we can actually probably just take this and just drag it down, you know, to make that section. You know, you guys want to do that? Let's just go ahead and do that. Actually, yeah, let's just do that. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. We're just going to duplicate this, and I'm just going to drag this to the next row. Like that. Okay, so basically I was lazy, but it doesn't matter because I've actually created what I wanted with this module right here. Okay, and I'm actually going to delete this text. I don't want any text here. Okay, so, you know, I use a blurb module here instead of a call to action, but you guys can see that it still works. You know, there is no right or wrong with what you can use. Okay, so over here in the design, I want to change the header font. I want to basically let people know that it is a new section. All right, and then we can go ahead and scroll this down a little bit more. Now over here, I want to go ahead and add in a slider. So we're actually going to use the slider module. So right here, I'm gonna click on, actually we can click on this right here. Instead of creating a new row, guys, we're creating a new module within this row. So that's what this plus icon means, okay? So right here, I'm gonna go to plus, and we're going to add in the slider module now. So let's go ahead and scroll down until we find the slider module. Okay. Now let's go ahead and add a new item. So I'm gonna put something here like, you know, we're not gonna put a heading here. Actually, we're not gonna put a heading. We're not going to put a text. We're not going to put anything here at all. We're not going to put anything here at all. And I'll explain why. Because if we put a title here, guys, it's going to basically create this title right here. Now, I don't want that. I really don't want that. I think that would not be a good introduction for the slider module. Okay. But I'm actually going to delete this right here. And we're going to scroll down. The background color, I want it full transparent. I don't want any background color whatsoever. Okay. And going over here, I'm just going to keep scrolling down. Just keep scrolling. Now the visual section. So over here, I want to go ahead and add in some dummy text. All right. So we're going to go ahead and say, like, actually, no, we'll put like, this is, let's see. This is the most amazing company ever. We think these guys can make anything they put their minds to. Simply stunning. Okay. And then right here, I'll put like Darrel Wilson. Now right here, I might want to change this text. So right here under this little color section right here, this little, I think it's like a section. We'll go to click on this and we'll just change the color to something like that. Okay. So now I'm gonna click on this little check. Okay. So we have this little section right here, but as you guys can see, I do want to reduce the padding here. I want to make this slider as small as possible. And I kind of want to change the text color. So going back over here, I'm gonna go to design. Now the top padding and the bottom padding, we'll get that a little bit, but let's go ahead and go back over here and I want to go to design. So if you guys want to change the actual, like the color, we're gonna have to go to something like the body text. So right here, we're gonna change this to black. All right. Just like that. So you see now we actually have the slider right here. All right, so let's go ahead and remove this box and let's bring this up a little bit more. So right here, click on this gear icon and simply just scroll down right here. And we want to remove this inner shadow right here. So this option right here, I want to remove that inner shadow. So now it's gone. Now we're going to go back to design. Now you see where it says top padding. So this is padding right here. This is space and I don't want any space there. So I'm going to put 0. And for the bottom padding, we can put something like, I don't know, like 10 pixels. And click on check. Okay. So now let's say you want to add in another slide. So we want to basically have these rotate with different people talking about, our website and stuff like that and saying like, yeah, this looks great, etc. So right here, I'm going to click on the module setting again and add a new one. So the same exact thing we did right here, guys, just do it all over again, except I am lazy and I'm just going to duplicate the module. So I'm going to duplicate it and I'm going to click on this little gear icon and simply just change the text and everything because we've already done the settings for it. So I'll put here like Danny Gomez, and then we'll put something like great work, superb. And I'll click on check. All right, so there's our slide. There is our first slide, and then it's going to change onto our second slide where it's going to say it is superb. Okay, so right here, I'm gonna click on this little blue icon, and now let's go ahead and add in a background image to this. We kind of want to add in a little bit, flavor to it. There's no background image; it doesn't really look good. So right here, click on background image, and I'm gonna add in the crow. So right here, I'm gonna click on the crow and click on upload an image. All right. So now this section is basically complete, except, I didn't really, we should put our customers there instead, right? It's our customers. Let's put this, our customers. Okay. And click on check. Now the slide isn't rotating fast enough. So right here, if we click on it, it'll basically change that, but we want to make it automatic. So right here, you click on this and we can go ahead and scroll down and we can do automatic animation and we can change the seconds to maybe like, I don't know, 3,000. So that's basically saying now for every 3,000 ms, it's going to change. So for every 3 seconds, it's going to change. Okay. So we've basically really manipulated these modules to basically do whatever we want. Okay. So if you want to make further changes to the slider, guys, like I said, There's options right here like showing the controls, remove the inner shadow like we just did, etc. Okay, maybe we want to go ahead and you can actually take off the controls. So now there is no controls. Okay, so by doing that, we've actually got rid of those little bubbles that were kind of in the way. You see that? So that is another, I would probably do that for this section, but I'm just trying to introduce you to the creativeness of the theme. It's all about your imagination. Now let's go ahead and add in the next section, which is simple. This right here is a simple section. And then I'm going to talk about how to save this section and export it, because we've already made this section. We don't want to do it all over again, right? So going over here, I'm going to click on this plus icon, regular, and go to 4. And right here, this is just basically practice at this point. You guys have probably already done this. We're just going to add in 4 images right here. So image, and then right here we'll add in another image. Oh, I passed it. Let's see where it went. It's late, guys. It's like 3 in the morning. It's like super late. My dog's looking at me like, let's go to bed already. What are you doing up still? Like, she's giving me that eye from the couch. I can see her. So right here, image, upload, this one, and then right here I'll do the same exact thing. And I'll do image. Okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and upload this and do that like that. Okay. So now let's go ahead and save this. And I want to basically steal that other section and drag it onto this page. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go back to our home page. All right. And don't worry about the full width, guys. We will get to that. We will get to that a little bit later towards the end of this tutorial. So we're going to enable the visual builder. And guys, the website already looks really good. It looks amazing and it looks really nice. So I'm going to scroll down right here. Now this section, I want to borrow this section. I want to steal it. I don't want to recreate it because I've already made it. Why do it all over again? So right here under this little gear icon, we can go to, I think it is, I'm sorry, it is the this section right here, the little add to library. So right here we'll put footer. And we'll go ahead and save this to the library. All right, so now it basically saved this to our library. And I'm gonna click on this and click on save. And we'll get to the pre-made layouts in the next section, guys, because I kind of want to reward you guys for being here. So I'm going to give you the layouts on my website that I make people pay for. Kind of hook you up, So right here, I'm going to go back to the About Us section. And we are going to simply just export that section onto the bottom right here. So I'm going to go to Edit Visual Builder. I'm going to scroll down. Just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling. All right. So right here, I'm going to click on this section right here. And from this section, I want to do Add from Library. And you see how we have footer? Just click on footer. That's it. It's already made for us. We don't need to do any hard work. So this is a perfect example of why you would want to save certain parts of your website, especially parts you're going to do all over again, okay? So now I'm going to click on this and click on save. All right, so scrolling back up. And guys, if you look at our website now, I mean, it just looks super professional and it looks elegant. It looks simply amazing. And it's not a lot of hard work. It's just doing it, it's just watching the tutorial. And guys, please watch this tutorial all the way towards the end, because there's gonna be a lot of stuff that I'm going to introduce that you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I should have had that, or oh yeah, we can add that too. So I'm gonna go click on services now. I'm gonna close these right here. And now let's go ahead and get started with the services section, okay? All right, guys, so for this section, we're actually going to use a pre-made layout. Instead of doing all the hard work, I want to basically introduce you all to the potential of Divi and what you can do. So in this section, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to upload a layout, and all the hard work is going to be done for us. So right here, I want to go ahead and enable the visual builder. Now, in the Dropbox that I had earlier, there is a layout for you. Now, if you don't want to use that layout, guys, you can actually go to my website, darrelwilson.com, and I have tons of free layouts that you guys can use. So this is the Divi section, and there are premium layouts, and all these right here are free layouts that you can use. So let me show you how to use these so you can use this, in the future without any mistakes. So going over here, I'm gonna go click on this little purple icon right here. I'm gonna click on this little import and export, and right here I'm gonna click on import. Now right here I'm gonna click on choose file, and I'm gonna select the layout. It's called believe it is called the services for tutorial. And I'm gonna click on open. And then right here, I'm gonna click on import. Now guys, if this does not work, there are other ways to upload it because the Divi layouts are a little strange. You know, sometimes it works one way or the other way, but I'll show you another way after this. So this is the page, guys, the services page. And you guys can see everything is already done for you. And you can make any changes you want to the website just like that. And, you know, you have a fully functional website. Now, Divi is known for pre-made layouts. So this is basically a huge plus. Instead of actually, you know, doing all the hard work, you can just go ahead and upload a layout and it is all done for you. Okay. So this is the services page, guys, and this is done. We are done with that section. And by now you probably know, how to make changes. You can go ahead and have fun and mess around with these settings. But let's just say that section did not work for you, where you go to import and export. I know for Bluehost and Amazon servers, it does not work like this. So this is another way you can do it. I'm going to go to my dashboard. And right here, I'm going to go down to Divi and go to theme options. All right, I'm sorry. We're going to go to Divi library. Whoops. All right. So right here, we click on import and export. And then right here, I'm going to click on import, choose the file, and then simply go ahead and just choose that file again right here. So services for tutorial, click on open, and then import. So this is another way how you can import it. And you guys can see for this server, it does have issues. So it just depends on your server, guys. Some servers are just a little bit strange with the layouts and some work just like perfect. All right. So for this specific domain, it probably did not work correctly. And that's just the way it works. Kind of glad that happened because, it is a problem with the layout, but nonetheless, they do work and it is amazing. Now there is one more way to upload these layouts. So right here under pages, I'm just going to create like a dummy page right now. So I'm going to go to add new and just type in something like test. Now right here, you click on use the Divi builder, and you can also upload it right here as well. So right here, click on import and export, and we can use the backend editor. So I'm gonna click on import, choose the file, and then go ahead and simply find the file. Now guys, if none of these options work for you, I know there was one guy who was helping in Australia where it just didn't work for any method. So if it doesn't work for any of the methods, then you might want to contact your hosting company and just say, hey, it's not working. Can you please let me know what's going on? So this is the test page that we did. Now I'm gonna click on preview right here. And you guys can see it works like a charm. So it works perfect for this server, but there are some servers that it does work a little strange with. So I am just go ahead and, I'm informing you that it just works a little strange sometimes, but nonetheless, it still works. Okay. So now I've showed you guys how to do the layouts and I've showed you guys how to do that. Let's go ahead now and create a blog. Now, in the beginning of the tutorial, I didn't really mention the blog, but we are going to create a blog and I kind of want to link the front images to our blog. So right here, I'm just going to click on add new. I'm not even going to save this page because, rest in peace. So right here, I'm going to click on blog. And there's a lot of different ways we can do this, guys. We can actually use the Divi builder and decorate the blog, or we can just go ahead and just, use the modules. But for right now, I'm going to click on use the visual builder. And there are pre-made layouts, guys, for the blog that Divi comes with standard. So let's go ahead and use those ones. So right here, I'm going to click on this little plus icon. And I think it's from, let's see right here. Is it add from library? I know they have some pre-made layouts. I think it's right here under the plus. Yeah, these ones right here. All right. So these are also pre-made layouts that Divi comes with standard. And you can use these if you choose to. They're not the best, but they're a great starting point on, something that you're, starting from scratch. It helps you get ideas, etc. So we have the blog standard right here, the blog missionary, etc. So I'm just going to click on one of these right here. So this is basically the blog missionary, and we don't have any blog posts right now. So right here it just says welcome to my blog, and you can decorate this. And I'm just going to click on publish here. And now I'm going to show you guys how to actually make a post. Now I actually do have pre-made blog layouts as well on my website. All right. But right here, I'm going to click on plus new and click on post. All right. Now, again, you can use the Divi builder, or you can just go ahead and make your own custom post. But I'm going to do one regular one, and then the next one we are going to use an enhanced version of the layouts by using the Divi builder. So right here, I'll put like blog post 1. And then right here, I'm going to go to my famous website and get some dummy text. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to grab some dummy text right here. I'm going to copy this and simply just paste this over here. And maybe you want to add in like an image right here, something like add media. You can go ahead and just slap on like a picture of whatever you would like. And right here, let's say you want it centered, click on centered, and then space, you know, maybe add in some more text, so whatever you want to talk about. And now we need to set a featured image, guys. You always want a featured image in all of your posts. So right here, under the featured image, we want to go ahead and select an image. So what is a featured image? Well, you're about to see it right now. A featured image is basically the first thing they see when they see the blog post. And you can also make these into categories. So right here, I'm going to do blog testing. Okay, so blog testing. And I'm going to click on publish here. All right, so we have our post. Now let's go ahead and preview this post. So this is what our blog posts look like. This right here is our featured image. This right here is some text that we have. This right here is the image that we put inside of it. And this right here is some additional text, okay? And these right here are widgets and plugins. And I will get to that in just a little bit after we talk about the premium blog post that we can make, all right? So let's go ahead now and make a premium blog post. So right here, I'm gonna go to plus and go to post. All right, now right here, I'm gonna put blog post number 2. And instead, we are going to actually use the Divi builder, okay? And instead of actually using the text and everything, we can actually design a page where we can, you know, just like we created a page, we can do the same exact thing for our blog post. But I'm gonna go ahead and click on load from library. And let's just go ahead and use one of Divi's basic predefined layouts. Now there are some more on my website that you can download. So my website is in the description, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use something like the, let's just add like a text or something like that, you know, something just simple and easy. So right here, I'll do something like, we'll do page full width. All right, and now let's click on preview changes. So now we have a blog post and everything's already sort of done for us. So all we can do is basically, you know, go through some of these, add in some images, change the text a little bit, but they've basically given us something to work with. So if you just can't really think of anything and you're kind of like, I don't know what to put, go ahead and use some of the predefined layouts as well. And you guys can decorate this, you know, just like we did earlier. We can go ahead and add in an image right here. We can insert a module and we can do, you know, whatever we would like for our blog post, okay? So that is another way how you can design the blog post as well. Now I'm gonna go to set featured image and I'm just gonna go ahead and just select some random one right here. So I'm gonna do this girl and click on publish. Now I'm actually gonna make this a category for blog testing and click on publish. All right, so we have these blog posts. Now let's go ahead and maybe add the blog post, the blog page to our actual menu. So right here under menus or appearance, we're gonna go to menus. Now right here under blog, let's go ahead and add this to the menu. All right, and I'm just gonna, you know, put that right there and save the menu. Now let's go ahead and see our website and also click on the blog post to basically see what has happened. So right here, I'm gonna go to blog. And there you go. So this right here was our test post. So this is a sample post that is created with Divi. Created with WordPress in general. And here are our posts. So these are our featured posts right here. And this is the missionary style. So this is a pretty cool layout for a blog. And if they click on it, they can go ahead and read all about it, etc. All right. So now let's go ahead and talk about the widgets and also this sidebar right here. So let's say you want to add something there. Let's say you want to delete something there. How do you do that? Well, I'm going to introduce you all to widgets. So right here under the dashboard, we're going to go down to, I think it's appearance and widgets. And you see right here how it says sidebar. So this is basically where everything is. So let's say I want to get rid of all this stuff. I'm going to say, you know what, delete this right here, delete this right here, delete this right here, and delete all this stuff. And guys, you can add anything here. You can add a Facebook like box. You can add an Instagram feed. You can add Google AdSense. I actually have a separate tutorial on how to add Google AdSense, so be sure to check that out. But let's just say you want to add in something like, you know, we'll add in like pages right here. So I'll just go ahead and drag pages, like our pages, and click on save. All right. So now let's go ahead and take a look at, see, manage with live preview. Now, that's a new option. Let me see what that is. Oh, that's nothing. Okay, never mind. That was a new option for WordPress. I thought it would be something cool, but now let's go ahead and go to our sidebar on our blog page and see what has changed. All right, so I'm gonna go over here to our blog right here. And if I click on one of these, you're gonna see that our pages only shows up now, okay? So you can add tons of stuff here, guys, and that is where you're going to use plugins. So let's go ahead and go over here to our dashboard, and I'm gonna go to plugins and go to add new. Now, guys, plugins are basically added features. Think of your website like apps. I'm sorry, like a smartphone, and these are apps for your website. So right here, I'm gonna go to popular. And each of these do a different thing. So Yoast SEO, I have a tutorial on that. It helps SEO, it helps boost your ranking. This right here basically lets you sell on your websites. This right here is a page builder. This right here backs your website up. This is an XML sitemap. The list goes on and on, guys. It goes forever. So there are millions of apps out there, okay? But let's just say you want to do a Facebook like box. All right, and they have tons of them, and there are a lot of people out there who make these plugins right here. But this one I actually find works the best. So this one right here, I'm just going to do this for tutorial purposes, just to show you what a plugin is and how to use it. So I'm going to click on activate. All right, so these are our current plugins, and right here you can see the widget Facebook like box is activated. Now I'm going to go back to our widgets. So appearance and go to widgets. So now we see we have this new box right here that says widget Facebook like box. So let's go ahead and just take this and just simply drag it up there. So give it a title. Like us. Page ID. Now guys, this must be a Facebook fan page. Remember, if it is your personal profile, it will not work because it's private. So if they click on it, it's going to take them to a private page. So this right here is my fan page. Now I'm going to take the link right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and post this right here into the website, the page ID. And right here, you can use a small header. You want to hide the cover photo? Yes, I kind of do. Do you want to show your friends' faces? Yes, I do, etc. And I'm going to click on save. And right here, you can change the width. So remember, these are pixels. So it's 180 pixels. The height is 300 pixels. I might want to make this 250 width. Make it a little bit thicker. And I'm gonna click on save. All right, now let's go ahead and check out the blog post. So I'm gonna click on this and I'll go to blog. Now I'm just gonna click on blog post 1. And now you see right here it says like us, and here is the Facebook like box. So this is basically what widgets and plugins are. And guys, the list of plugins goes on and on and on. I actually have a separate tutorial on like the 10 best plugins you can get. So be sure to check that out. All right. So this is an example of widgets and plugins. Okay. So that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next page, which we are going to do the portfolio. So the portfolio, guys, is a little different. So the portfolio section, we must basically add a project. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. But one more thing I actually want to talk about before we do that. I'm sorry, I do that a lot. I know you guys are probably like, this is a bad tutorial, but no, I want to show you how to link your blog post onto your front page. So remember earlier how we had those blog posts and we actually had the front page. So right here under posts, I'm going to go to all posts, and I'm simply just going to go ahead and grab blog post number 2. And you see this permalink right here. So this is the permalink to this specific blog post. So let's go ahead and go to our front page. And don't worry about the slider, guys. We're going to change that towards the end of the tutorial. I know. So over here, if we scroll down right here, we have these posts right here. And guys, I actually made these specifically because I want to sort of add creativity. So I'm going to go to Enable Visual Builder. You guys might have noticed I changed the images. You know, I tend to do that on my breaks. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down right here. And right here, I'm going to go ahead and click on Module Settings. And I'm just going to go ahead and scroll down. Now you see where it says link URL. I'm gonna go ahead and paste that in there. And I'm gonna click on check. So now, if somebody clicks on this picture right here, they will actually be taken to that blog post. So I've basically sort of created my own page for post because I don't like the way it comes standard with Divi. So right here, I'm gonna go to Exit Visual Builder and scroll down right here. So right here, I'm just gonna click on this right here. And if you've noticed right now, you can see that my cursor has that symbol of being linked. So I'm gonna click on this, and there you go. Now we are being directed to that specific blog post, okay? So that is a good example of how you can be a little bit more creative with Divi and use some of the features. Like guys, it's limitless. You know, whatever you can possibly think of, you can do it, you know, so it's just about your imagination. Okay, so now let's go ahead and actually create a portfolio. So I'm gonna go to dashboard right here, and right here under projects, we're going to add a project. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and just put in something like you know, portfolio, or actually something like you know, what should we put here? What's a good topic we can put in for our project? Adventures. And I'm gonna use the Divi builder, and I actually want to decorate this page. So what I did before, when we create pages, I want to do that same thing right here. So I'm gonna go to use the visual builder, and we're basically just gonna create a small page for this specific project. So right here, I'm just gonna click on the plus sign. I'm gonna go to full width, and I'm basically going to do what we did on the other pages, guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and make a section right here, just like we did for the other one. So I'm gonna put the name of the post right here. So put adventures. And I'm going to make this centered. All right. And then I'm gonna click on this. Now I wanna delete this blue section. And right here, I wanna go ahead and add in a background image. So guys, this is basically, we are creating a customizable section that is a little different than what's supposed to be. So I know this might look a little off. You're kind of like, I'm not really sure what he's doing, but just follow along and then you'll see what I'm talking about. So right here we have adventures. All right, now let's go ahead and add in some images. So right here, I'm just gonna click on regular, and I'm just gonna select right here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and grab in some images. So what images do you want for your portfolio? So let's go ahead and just grab some images, upload image. I'm gonna go ahead and just grab something like, you know, we'll grab this one right here. Actually, yeah, we'll grab that one right there. Upload an image. All right, so we have the image right here. And, you know, we can do whatever we would like this. We can open to the light box. We can, you know, add the animation right here from right to left. But for the alignment, I kind of want this centered. All right, so now let's go ahead and make one more. Plus, and I'll just go ahead and add in another image. Add in something that looks like this right here. And this one, I kind of want to center it. You know, maybe the animation from right to left. So it has that zigzag as they scroll, actually from left to right. And for image alignment, I want it in the center. Okay. So when somebody comes to this page, they're going to see our portfolio like this. It's going to be clean. It's going to look really, really good. Okay. Now let's go ahead and just add one more. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and go to image, upload the image, and simply select, we'll grab the Divi one right here. Okay. Now right here, we can go ahead and put in some text on the bottom. Maybe you want to go ahead and talk about like the author, or add in something like, you know, about the author or something. So let's go ahead and just use a basic text module. Find the text module here. There are a lot of modules, guys. I'm very aware of that. So I think it's right here. So right here, we'll put something like centered, dark, and then we'll put like about the author. And then we'll put Darrel does this kind of stuff sometimes. He goes hiking and enjoys eating pho and ramen. I love Asian food. I really do. It's delicious. I can eat it all day. It's bad. It's really bad. It has a lot of salt, but it's just so delicious. So right here we have about the author, and then here you can add something else. Now, this is basically the end of the project. Now let's go ahead and add in that pre-made layout that we did earlier. So add from library and do a footer. So now right here we have this contact us. So this is a really clean portfolio section, and it all matches up. The color schemes look good. And right here you can add in, you know, something you would like. And I'm gonna click on this and click on publish. All right. So we've basically created a project, okay? So now we actually need to create the portfolio page so that we can put this project inside. So right here, let's go to portfolio. And now let's go ahead and just do the same exact thing. Let's just go ahead and create the page, very similar to how we did it. So I'm gonna go to edit visual builder. I'm sorry, enable visual builder. And right here, I'm gonna go ahead and click on this, full width, I'm gonna use the full with header. And guys, remember, you can use any module. You can use a call to action, a text module. I just prefer to use this. And then right here, we'll put portfolio. Portfolio. I can't even spell. It's bad. All right, so right here, I'm gonna do centered. Okay, something like this. I'm gonna delete this top section. And here, I'm going to add in that background image, the one that we kind of had earlier. And let's see, we can do something like this one right here. All right, and then right here, I'm gonna simply click on this, and we can go ahead and add in the portfolio section. So over here, under regular, I'm gonna click on this big one, and we're just gonna simply add in portfolios, guys. So there's a filterable portfolio, but I wanna just add in the basic portfolio. This one right here. All right. So we have the layout right here as well. We have the layout. We can have as many posts. So how many posts do you want it to show? Do you want it to show the title? Do you want it to show the category, the pagination, etc.? Okay. And also for the design, you can change the design of it. If somebody decides to put in the color icon, you can add in an overlay to the picture, whatever you would like. So I'm gonna click on check. Now the reason why it doesn't show up, guys, is because we actually didn't put a featured image for that picture. Okay. So right here, I'm gonna click on this and click on save. And now we need to actually add in a featured image to our portfolio. So let's go ahead and go back over here, and let's go back to our portfolio, or I'm sorry, our projects and the adventures. And I'm gonna give it a category. So we're gonna do like, let's just say this is like your photography one. Added a category. And right here under featured image, I'm gonna go ahead and select one of these right here. So I'll go ahead and select, we'll grab one of these ones right here. And I'm gonna click on update. All right, so now let's go ahead and visit the site. And right here, let's go ahead and go to portfolio. And there you go. So now we have one of our portfolios showing up. And guys, remember, you can do this a bunch of different ways. Now, in this specific section, I have this section. So if you click on it, it's gonna take us to that same blog post. So that is another way how you can design the portfolio section. And if you want to get creative and you want to like, add in a lot more of design, you can actually do the same thing that we did earlier by doing, like, we can have like a grid effect. We can have different styles. It's virtually limitless, guys, on how you can design your portfolio section. So let me show you how we achieve that grid look before on the other website. So right here, I'm gonna click on this gear icon. Now we have this option right here. We have layouts. Now I wanna do grid. Now you see where it says includes categories. So you can basically say, look, I only want the categories that involve photography in this specific section. So if you wanna sort of categorize your layouts to basically say, I only want this section to show something that deals with photography, you can do that. Now post number, how many posts do you want on this page? Let's say you create 20. So you can say, look, I don't want to show all the old stuff. I only want to show the new stuff. So I'm going to say, I want only 10 of these posts right here. Now, how did I achieve that look earlier on that other website? So right here, I did the same exact thing, guys, for the photos. Remember the photos, how we made the padding 0 on everything? So right here on this gear icon, I'm gonna make this full width. I'm gonna use the custom gutter, and I'm gonna change this to 1. All right. And here, I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know what? I wanna go ahead and reduce the padding right here. I don't want all this space right here. So right here in the custom padding, I'm gonna go ahead and put 0 at the top right there, okay? So now I'm gonna go ahead and reduce that space, and there you go. So let's say we add in a second project right here. It's gonna show up right next to this one, okay? So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go over here, and I'm gonna go ahead and click on save. And now I'm just gonna do one more, guys, just for tutorial purposes to show you how you can achieve that grid look that I had earlier. So right here, I'm gonna go to project. Now you don't have to follow me, guys. I'm just doing this just to show you how to add in multiple projects and sort of add design to it. So right here, I'm gonna put cool stuff. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put test. I'm gonna, set the featured image. And then right here, I'll add in something like, this picture right here, okay? And set that as a featured image. Put that as photography, and click on publish. Okay, so let's go ahead and view our portfolio section. portfolio, and there you go. So now you guys can see that every single post that you make will have that grid effect. All right. Now remember, if they click on this, it's going to look bad. We haven't decorated this specific page. So if you want to basically, make it look good, you know what to do. So earlier, just like we did right here, now we have this really clean portfolio section, and it looks really professional. It looks really, really good. So I would strongly advise you guys to decorate even the portfolio page, because, your website's on the internet 24 hours a day, guys. You don't want to be lazy and say, oh, that's a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but let me just show you guys one more time. I'm going to go ahead and upload one more. Actually, I should just do two, just to show you the whole effect right there. So I'm going to do Darrel Wilson, and then put test, add this in. You guys do not have to follow me right here. I'm just showing you for tutorial purposes, just to give you an idea of what you can do. So I'm going to add this one right here, and I'm click on publish. And I'm going to make one more, add one more project. And I said this is Paddywhack, my dog, Paddywhack. And there, I got to walk her too. She peed on the couch the other day. Was not good. Was not good. And I'll use this picture right here. Actually, I'll use this one right here. Okay. And then I'll click on publish. I'll test. All right. Now let's go ahead and go to visit sites and go over here and go to portfolio, and voila, beautiful, clean, looks really, really professional, looks really good. So this is a very good idea on how to decorate your portfolio section. And guys, don't forget, you must add the footer. So we have it in the library. So add from library, footer. So now we have this section right here. Okay, you want to include this on every single page, because that's why we basically, added it earlier. So it's easier for us. It's super simple. We just click on a button, and that is now our portfolio page. All right. So let's go ahead now and move on. I've showed you guys how to do the portfolio section. And guys, this can be anything. This can be business partners. It can be anything. You just have to use your imagination to sort of think about what you can possibly put here. I can put this for any website, for a church website, for a cell phone, for a dog. You can have, before and after testimonials. You can have all sorts of stuff. You just have to really think about what you want to put there. Okay. So over here, I'm going to go to the last page right here, and we're going to do the contact us page right here. Okay. So let's go ahead, and first we're going to enable the visual builder. Okay. And let's go ahead and basically do what we were doing before, but on our contact map right here, I'm going to go ahead and open up that website. Divi Studio Layout. You guys have noticed that basically we have this full width map right here. So this is a module right here. We have a full width map. We have a call to action where we added that code. We have a contact form we put in, and we have a call to action with a text. And then here we have a footer. So I hope by now you guys can sort of see a page and just basically know which modules to put in there, saying, okay, call to action, it's like a gift. Once you learn how to do that, you can make anything. You can make any single website you put your mind to. Okay. So going over here, let's go ahead and add in the full width section. So the full width map. So right here, I'm going to go to add a new item. And guys, this will not show up yet because we need to actually get a Google API key. I really wish they didn't make us do that, because before that was not the case. But right here, I'll just put like a address or home base. This is a base. All right. And Pasadena. And if you click on find, it might not show up because we need to enter the Google API key. Okay. So we need this right here. So going over to Google, and it's free to get it, and type in Google API key. And you're going to get the first link right here that says developers, etc. So click on get a key authentication. So right here, you click on get a key, and it's, just go ahead and just create your own, create a new project, right? Going right here, create and enable API. I have tons of them. I have like 50 keys. So I have a lot of other websites that I manage. So I, use keys for all sorts of different ones. But you're just going to get a key, guys, and that's it. You're just going to go ahead and take this, and you're going to paste it in there. Now, there's two places you can paste this key. So this is the API key that you need. Go ahead and copy this. And also, guys, you must have a Gmail account to do this, okay? So if you do not have a Gmail account, you'll have to make one. It's free, don't worry. And this is where you get the API key. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and we actually need to go ahead and go to our customizer and put this in. So right now, I'm just going to click on save. We're going to save this empty page. I know it's an empty page, but why not? And we're going to go to our theme customizer, and we need to put that piece of code, our dashboard, and we need to put that API key inside of the theme. So right now, you guys can see it just says, so something went wrong. Oh, something's wrong. And it's funny because I actually had a tutorial like a few months ago, and I was like, oh, something's wrong with the plugin, guys. Just ignore it. And it was me. So I didn't know. And it was actually funny because it updated that specific day from Google. So it was just a really big coincidence. So go ahead and scroll down right here, and you're going to see Google API key. And go ahead and just paste that key that you have in there, and then click on Save Changes. All right, so I'm going to go to Visit Sites. We're going to go back over here and go to Contact Us. All right, so now we need to go ahead and put in a address right here, because now you can see that it's gray. It's like, I want to work, but I just don't have anything to put in there. So go ahead and enable the Visual Builder. Now this section, I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to click on this gear icon. We're going to click on the module icon, and under home base, I have something like Pasadena, California. Let's see, we should put Rose Bowl. See if we can find the Rose Bowl. Nope, no Rose Bowl. Okay, so I'm going to put something like 5. Let's Chatsworth Street. Oops, I did not save. All right, so this is the map right here. So I'm gonna click on little check. Now the map center address. So where do you want this map centered address? So something in like Chatsworth, California. Click on find. Okay, so now it is basically centering in this specific section. Now the little dot right there is going to show up right here. But remember, this section for the map center address is basically saying, where do you want us to focus on? Okay, so you probably want to put in the same address twice. All right, so there is our little dot right there. So that is basically how you guys use this specific section. And you guys can actually add in something like on the bottom right here, or I'm sorry, on the home base. I put home base, but you could put anything. So scrolling down here, we'll put in some like, this is the home base, 9 to 5, and click on check. Now there is some options right here. So mouse wheel zoom. So if I go over this, I can zoom in, I can do this, etc. Now if you do not want this, you can click on this right here, and this will actually disable that, okay? But I'm gonna go ahead and leave that on and click on check, all right? So now right here, you guys can see that the map is right there. And then right here, home base, this is the home base of operations, 9 to 5, okay? So let's go ahead now and keep going. And we're going to just go ahead right here and click on this. And we're gonna add in a call to action. So same thing right here, guys, call to action. Feel free, no. Feel free to contact us. And a good tip of advice, always make the first letter capital. Okay, it's just what you do. It's just basically what you do in web design. I'm gonna make this dark. Now over here, I kind of want to make this a little bit bigger. So the design, the header font, which is this section, I want to make it bigger. Whoop. Okay. And remember to add in that little piece of code right there earlier. Remember how we added that code earlier? I'm sure by now you know how to do that. But right here, I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down and go to my favorite website. And we're going to use this dummy text to put in this section right here. All right, so feel free to contact us, etc. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add in the other part. We're gonna add in our contact form and also some additional information. So right here, I'm gonna click on add a new row, 2 rows. And over here, I wanna call to action, okay? And I'm also gonna show you guys how to space these apart. Now, this is maybe like a little bit too close. So I wanna show you guys how to basically space this apart. So right here, I'm gonna put like our offices. No background color, dark. And then right here, we'll put like, I don't know, what should we put right here? We'll put something like West 21st Street, New York. and then New York. Actually, we'll use the text part right here. So we'll go right here and we'll do New York, NY, then email, you know, hello.com, and then a phone number. Okay. And then I'll click on check right here. All right. And then right here, we want to basically make this a little bit more cleaner. So we can go to our visual and we can make this align to the left right there. And something that looks just like that. Okay. So that looks a little bit more cleaner and the lines correspond and there's no spacing. That's why we use the text section. Okay. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and add in a contact form. So right here, I'm going to click on this and we're going to go down to a contact form. So it basically pre-designs it for you guys, you know, the name, the email, the address, and you can decorate this, you know, under the name, you can put like, you know, what do you want it to say here? You can change name to something else. Do you want to make this a required field? You can say, yes, you must put your name in there. Do you want to make this full width? You can make it full width to look something like that. Okay. So same thing for the email. We might want to make that full width too. So the email right here under full width, there you go. And this right here is a CAPTCHA, guys. So basically saying we don't want any bots to kind of like, you know, harass us and bother us, etc. Okay. So if you want to enable the CAPTCHA, this is basically, it's automatic. If you do not want to enable the CAPTCHA, you can go ahead and click on disable CAPTCHA and that will take it off. And guys, you can go to the design and, you know, you can decorate the background form. You can make it whatever color you like. The box right there, you can make it circular. And these settings, guys, are basically a little bit repetitive. It's just like, you know, what's the text the color, the spacing, the height, you know, all this stuff right here is basically stuff that we have talked about. And also you can decorate the button right here. So there are a lot of different styles on how you can make this form, guys. I mean, it's limitless. It's virtually limitless. But remember, I would keep it with the color scheme that you have for your website. You don't want to get all tacky. You don't want to sort of jump all over the place, kind of like I am in this tutorial. You know, you don't want to do that. And also right here, we want to go ahead and add in that beautiful footer. So right here, I'm going to go to add from library and click on footer. And voila, we have a beautiful contact us page. Now, one more thing, guys, on this section, you want to put in your email. So right here, I'm going to put my email and I'm going to click on check. So now that I'm basically telling them that I want it to go to that specific email. All right. And that email you just saw, don't email it because I'm just going to mark it as spam. I'm just kidding. You guys can email me if you guys need help. And that is basically, guys, a quick rundown of the contact us page. It's a very simple contact page. There wasn't a lot to it, but it's just like a, you know, we don't need to get crazy with the contact us form. Okay. So now let's go ahead and do some custom CSS. Let's go ahead and talk about different ways you can use to design this specific section. Okay. Now in the description, there is some custom CSS and you will need the CSS to sort of control this lettering right here and also the size of the slider. Now I'm going to show you guys how to move this text wherever you want it to be, along with making this as big as you want it. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and go to our dashboard right here. And we're going to go to our Divi section and we're going to click on theme options. Okay. So let's go ahead and scroll down right here. Just keep scrolling all the way down to the bottom right here. And this was something I entered in earlier. Just go ahead and ignore that. I'm going to save the changes. Now, the section that I need right here is in the notes right here. So right here, I'm going to grab this section right here. And you guys can see it in your description. And I'm going to paste this. So it's going to be ETB slide, blah, 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 etc. And I'm going to go to save changes. Okay. Now I'm going to go to visit site. Now I'm actually going to enable the visual builder. Okay. So after you have entered that in right there, I'm going to go ahead and go back over here to my notes. And this thing right here, this height, etc., you're going to put this in the main elements of the CSS. So click on this icon, click on the Divi theme or whatever slide that you want it to be under the CSS. Go ahead and paste this in the main element and voila. Now you guys can see that the page is now full width. So I didn't really do anything. Everything's automatic and it looks really, really good. Okay. So that is basically how you change the section of the slide. So now let's go ahead and enter the code to basically move this text wherever we want it to be. So right here, I'm gonna click on the gear icon. Now I'm going to select the crow right here. So under the Creative Studio, right here, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. I'm sorry, go to the CSS. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit more to slide title. Now, this code, guys, you can adjust it to whatever you would like. So I'm going to paste this code in here. Now you see how the code went way up there? Something that looks way like that. So you can basically change this. So I basically said the margin top is minus 200 pixels. But really quickly, guys, I'm going to stop that automatic animation. That's going to bother me so much. So right here, I'm going to do automatic animation, stop that, and go back over here. Let's go back to the crow and go to Creative Studio and CSS. So margin top, let's just say you want it at 100 pixels. Let's say you want it at 20 pixels. So you see how I'm basically moving this little section right here of like, 203, you can basically adjust it to wherever you want it to be, okay? Now let's just say, for example, that you wanted to move it to the right or to the left. Maybe you want that really big, beautiful landing page where the text is over here and you have buttons over here. I mean, guys, it's all about imagination. There's a use for everything. So I'm gonna put something like, I'll just put 100 pixels right there. Now you can actually take this where it says margin top and maybe add this to the right. So now you see how it's moving to the right, or I can say, you know what, move to the left. So now it's moving to the left right there. But for now, I'm gonna just say margin top. Now we can also go ahead and add in a secondary code right here. And this will basically say, look, I wanna give it a little bit more customization. So instead of margin to the top, I wanna add margin to the right. So now it's basically adjusting the top padding, and it's also saying, look, I want it to the top 100, and then to the right, minus 200, or we can just do positive 200, or right here we can put left, etc. So we can basically change anything we want on this page. And if you want to make this bigger, guys, just remember you can go into your settings and make it bigger. So there is virtually no limitation with Divi, guys. A little custom CSS can go a long way, okay? So that is basically a quick rundown of this. Now I'm going to click on check right here and click on check. Now there is also another link in the description. It'll take you to a website called Fiverr.com. And that is basically where we're going to get our logo. So right here, I'm gonna go to Fiverr.com. And guys, you don't want to try to get a free logo. Don't do that. Just trust me, do this, do it the right way. I don't want to spend anything. Just type in logo right here. And these guys will make a beautiful logo for you for like $5 to $10. And these guys make some really good logos. My website was made from this website. So just go ahead and click on one of these authors right here. And like I said, they really make some really cool logos. I don't sponsor anybody in particular on this website. So this is kind of where you venture off and do your own thing. And if they screw you, I'm sorry. But, a majority of these people are really good. You can also check by their ratings. Like this guy right here has over 4,000 positive ratings. And there's new guys. So this is basically where you can get it. Now, let's just say once you get it. Now, remember, once you get it, guys, you want it as a PNG file, okay? PNG file. Right here, you can see PNG file. You do not want it as a JPEG. The reason why you don't want it as a JPEG is because the JPEG actually saves the background. If there's no background, it will create a white background, and that will look really tacky on your website. So going over here, we're going to go ahead and scroll down and go to Theme Customizer. Yeah, I don't want to. I'll save and exit. Why not? We'll save that little change that we did earlier. Okay. Now, actually, no, we're not going to go here. We're not going to go here. Close that. Close that. We're going to go to our dashboard. Okay. And over here, we're going to go down to Divi and go down to Theme Options. So right here is your logo. So all you need to do is go ahead and upload it right here. And then this will be your logo. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and just grab something. I'll grab in this little box right here. And then also the favicon. So you see right here on this top website right here, it says Fiverr or the FI. This is the favicon. So when someone visits your website, what do you want to appear up there? I'm just going to grab this one right here. And I'm going to go to Save Changes. Okay. Now, guys, this is not the right size. It's going to look absolutely terrible. So I am just letting you know for tutorial purposes that this is the logo right there. You see that? So it's showing up. And since it's a PNG file, it's transparent. All right. So you might want to make it a little bigger. This is like 30 by like 50. It's tiny. And also the favicon. So see at the top right here how this appears. So that is basically how you add the favicon and also the icon as well. Now let's go ahead and go through some of these options, guys, to make sure I did not miss anything. So congratulations, you know, we've basically done everything. General settings, background, yeah, layout settings. We've basically done all that. The footer, you know, guys, I am not on a script. So you guys can tell I just do this, you know, I just start, and I have no plan. I'm totally unorganized, and I just kind of just do it, you know, and that's basically how it goes down. Okay. So going over here, that is basically, guys, how you do it. Now, also, if this happens to you guys, I'm actually really glad this happened. I will actually include a custom CSS for this as well. So if this does happen to you, you will need to actually enter in a another piece of code, and you can do that by going to your theme customizer. So going to dashboard and going to Divi and going to theme options. Now going right here, there's actually another piece of code in case that happens to you guys, where you can just go ahead and enter it in right there, and that will work like a charm. Okay, I actually added it earlier. In fact, it's actually over here in my notes. I believe it is this right here. Let me see right here. It is, oh, this right here. Okay, you will need this code, guys, in case that happens to you. So I'm actually kind of glad that happened. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and paste that code in there. And I'm gonna go ahead and save the changes. I think that is correct. Let me see here. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay. So I'm going to visit sites, and we're going to scroll down, and there we go. Okay. So it is there. I should have mentioned that earlier. I will probably put that earlier in the tutorial, guys. So congratulations on your website. I think that covered just about everything. Okay. So other than that, guys, thanks for this tutorial. I do have a second tutorial on my Udemy website where I have put a second course, and that includes a lot of custom CSS. We get extremely customizable with Divi, and we get a little bit more advanced. So I'm sure after this tutorial, you guys are probably comfortable saying, yeah, you know, I can do it. But, you know, guys, really thank you for watching. Good luck on your websites. It's a journey. It really, truly is a journey. And it's not easy. You know, you're going to do a lot of trial and error. You're going to mess up. You're going to throw cups of coffee everywhere. I've been there. Trust me. It is. It's hard, but baby steps, and you will get there, guys. So congratulations. Thanks for watching my tutorial, and I'll see you all later.